tells me I'm live. I have as always when we do these live streams, I have a computer open on my lap with the live stream in order to verify that it is functioning and working.
Why is that not working?
And I'm not seeing it on my screen yet. So if you are here and you are seeing the live, please do drop a comment in the chat to say, yes, the live stream is working, everything is going, because for some reason, I don't know why it's not on my laptop just this moment. But I can see the chat, and the chat is usually running. So hopefully it gets working soon. I feel like we always have troubles. Oh, here we go. Okay. It's popping up now. So sorry if I've been talking for the last minute and no one has been able to see it. So if you are seeing this working, drop a comment in the chat to let me know that it's working. I see Mystery Guest says it's working. Austin says hello, and Briston says hello. Morty, perfect. Nick, hello. Good to see you all. And I was saying just a moment ago, while I wasn't sure if it was working or not, I do have my laptop here. So if you see me looking off to the side as we get on this live stream, what I'm doing is I'm reading the comments. They do appear on the phone. I'm using my phone to live stream.
Way too fast.
But yeah, they're coming way too fast.
Wow, there's a lot of you.
And so it's definitely easier for me to read the comments here on my laptop. Lots and lots of hellos. Just a quick hello to
you made it for like 10 minutes before you go to bed.
Ria, Mariana, Glorabelle, Almaran, Kelly, Sonia, so many people. I'm not gonna be able to say hello to everybody.
Try to say hello to 90 people in 10 minutes.
I tried. Big Red is in the house. Big Red is a moderator here on the channel. So David, thank you so much for tuning in. I didn't ask you to tune in, but thanks for tuning in. You can put people in timeout if you want to. I remember right before I hit the live button, I saw a couple of comments, and Mystery Guest said a rare live. I think it was Mystery Guest said a rare live from us. Yes, the last live stream we did was 7 months ago.
And to answer your question, Austin, the kids and I were at Legoland on Monday, but Trevor wasn't.
Yeah. Amy was there.
For just like a couple hours, I took the kids up to get them out of the house so he could work in peace and quiet.
Ever since they've been off of school, it's been very noisy in the house. So any opportunity that she gets to get them out of the house is great. So they were at Legoland.
How are we supposed to answer all these
yeah, this is probably the busiest live stream a day. Jacob, hey, what's up, Jacob? Feel like I haven't chatted with you in a hot minute. Disney 24/7 is in the house. He and I 2 years ago, has it been 2 years? We did a collaboration where we went to Big Thunder Mountain Railroad and we rode that thing all day long for National Coaster Day. We rode it 20 times. That was a long time ago. But yeah. So many comments now. It is going to be a lot. So I ask you to bear with us as we are working through the comments. If I don't answer your question, feel free to drop the question in the comments again. I don't mind, just so that we see it, that sort of thing, things pop up. But yes, whew. It's great to be back. So the reason why we stopped doing the live streams as often as we were doing them, was primarily because we had like maybe 20 people hanging out with us at best. And it does take a lot of time and effort to put these on for you guys because, you'll see. I don't know. I should say that our children aren't here. Our children are in Utah. The grandparents flew them out to Utah for the next 3 days. They flew on an airplane by themselves. They had a friend with them, but nobody over the age of like 9 was flying to Utah. So Amy had to take them into security today, wait at the gate until the plane took off, and then Nanny was there waiting to pick them up once they landed in Utah. So I don't know why he just started trying to call us.
Unless that was by accident.
It might have been.
Benjamin may have
I don't know. But But anyway, you'll find that this live stream, if it lasts as long as most of these usually do, will be probably about 2 hours. I feel like it'll go until about 8 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and so that's just it's a lot of time, to be honest. So we haven't done these as often as we like, but you guys have been asking for them. When are you going to do another live stream? And we had wanted to do one before we went to Walt Disney World. It did not happen. And when we got back, there were some packages. Actually, why don't you get the packages? We're not going to open them right this minute. We'll let a couple more people come online. But we have some packages that you guys all sent to our P.O. box, which is something that we also got recently. So we're like, oh, now's the perfect opportunity to do a live stream. So we are excited to do these again. And I mean, we've already got 130 people watching. So again, thank you guys so much for coming to hang out with us. That is probably the most we've ever had on a live stream ever. So if they become, this well attended in the future, it might be something that we can start doing again, because
I want to go back to Oahu.
Ultimately, we are wanting to do these for you guys. So if you guys have questions and we can fill the time, we're happy to answer them.
I did see someone ask how old are our kids. They are almost 10. James is if he was here, he would know how many days. It's like 20 something days till his birthday.
25.
He's counting down.
26.
But he's turning 10, and then Benjamin will be 7 later this year. So
right now they're 9 and 6.
They're 9 and 6 right now, though.
Did you guys feel that Lightning Lane was necessary for Animal Kingdom? So Animal Kingdom was the video that came out today. That was day 4 of 9. So you guys still have 5 more Orlando vlogs coming your way that will be out a little bit later on, of course, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Was Lightning Lane necessary at Animal Kingdom?
Nice. Well, the first day it kind of was, in the sense it was nice that we didn't have to rush to things. So, but we could have done the day without it. But however, our first Animal Kingdom day, we didn't stay the whole day. We went for the morning, and then after lunch, we went mini golfing. So we spent like 2 hours away mini golfing.
I mean, they probably watched the video.
And then went back.
Yeah.
For the evening. If we stayed the whole day in the park without doing that, then I think we could have gone away without having it.
The thing is, there's only 6 rides in Animal Kingdom. It's the least amount of rides in any park at Walt Disney World. And so even if you waited an hour for every single ride, it would be 6 hours. And that's plenty of time to ride them all. However,
that doesn't include shows or anything.
Yeah, that doesn't mean that you want to wait 6 hours for all of those rides. And I feel like all of them do have long lines. All of them. Every single one of them. I know that Safaris is generally...
Spin doesn't.
Yeah, that one doesn't.
We didn't ride that one this time.
I feel like Kilimanjaro Safaris is always north of 60 minutes. The Everest depends on whether or not it breaks. You can find that ride less than 30, but when we were there, it wasn't less than like 60 or 70.
What, Everest?
Yeah, pretty much the whole time we were there.
Because it kept breaking.
And so I think the lowest wait time of a ride was like 30 minutes. So yeah, the Lightning Lane was definitely helpful. Now where it's not necessary is Epcot. If you watched our Epcot day from Monday, it's necessary for 2, maybe 3 rides, and those two rides are actually the 3 are Remy's, Frozen, and Test Track,
and Soarin' potentially.
But those 3, Remy's, Frozen, and Test Track, are the biggest ones. Now they have 11 to like 13 rides. I don't remember the exact number of rides that they have at Epcot. Most of them are 5 minutes all day long.
By the end of the day, especially. Yeah. So like Spaceship Earth will hold like a 30 to 40 minute wait until the last couple hours the park's open, and then it'll be a walk on, because everyone's in the world. Like most people come in the front and then they move to the back to the World Showcase as the day goes on, whereas we start at the back, kind of hop back and forth. So by the end of the day, like Nemo and Spaceship Earth, none of those rides have a line by the end of the day.
So the question that just came in, I feel like, is one that we get a lot, and so I'd love to answer it here. I know there's a ton of questions, and I really would love to answer every single one. We'll try to answer as many as we can, but maybe this one will be helpful to most people. And the question is, can we elaborate why we tell people to ride Rise of the Resistance at 9 a.m.? Why 9 a.m.? Well, Rise of the Resistance is by far the most popular ride at Disneyland, even over Peter Pan. And what happens is I find that a good 60 to 75% of the guests rush straight to that attraction as soon as the park opens. I mean, that's where everybody is going. But after that initial surge, the line slowly gets down. So it'll jump to, say, an immediate 65 to 70 minute wait. And by 8:30, that might be down to 50 or 55. By 9 o'clock, usually, and I say usually because sometimes the ride has a delayed opening and that messes with everything. But usually by around 9 a.m., it's like 45 minutes, 45
the
minutes.
other reason is if you go straight there, it's gonna take you a minimum probably of like 45 minutes to get through, and then you've lost that 45 minutes where in that time that you're standing in the Rise of the Resistance line and going on that ride, we will have ridden like 5 other rides.
So hypothetically speaking, this is what happens. Okay, it's you show up at 7:20 when the gates open, right? Because you want to be at the front of that line. And so you're dedicated 40 minutes now before rope drop that you're there and you're waiting. And then you get over there and you find out Rise of the Resistance has a delayed opening, which happens very frequently with these trackless rides. So it doesn't even open till 8:15 or 8:20. And then even if you were at the front of the line, the pre-shows themselves take 20 minutes to get through all 3 pre-shows. So now it is 8:40, 8:45, the ride's 5 minutes. I mean, you are looking at 8:45 before you even get off the ride in most case scenarios. If you were at the back of the line, try 9 o'clock, 9:05, 9:10. So you've lost the entire first hour. What we usually end up doing is we will go and we'll ride Space Mountain, Big Thunder, Indiana Jones, Pirates of the Caribbean, something like that. We can usually get at least 3, if not all 4 of those rides done in that hour. And then we go hop in line for Rise of the Resistance. It's a 40-minute wait. What that means is that it's 40 minutes till you get on the ride vehicle. But remember, those pre-shows are 20 minutes. So it's really only about 20 minutes of waiting, because once you get to the pre-shows, you feel like the experience is starting. And then, of course, we're done with Rise of the Resistance around 9:45. But at that point, we've been able to ride a bunch of the big rides and Rise of the Resistance. And if you start with Rise, Space Mountain's already like a 35, 40-minute wait by the time you get off and things like that. So, I mean, it's just what we usually end up doing. But anyway, that was a long explanation. I didn't answer any other questions in that time. Here's one for Amy. Yeah. What are the best bathrooms? I get this question all the time. Surprisingly, I get it all the time. So what are the best bathrooms?
I'm trying to think where. I mean, it kind of just depends on where we are in the park. I can tell you one of the worst ones is the one next to Red Rose Tavern and Magic and Fantasyland, because it's always really, really crowded. However, a trick with or no, right, it's not. Well, yeah, that one and the one in Adventureland. So if you go into the one in Adventureland, everybody tends to go to the right. It splits off into 2 sides. Everybody goes right, and then I'll go in there and I'll see this like line, for the right-hand side. If you go to the left-hand side, there's like 3 times as many stalls on the left, but nobody goes left. It's like with rides. People don't go left. And so if you go to the Adventureland bathroom, go to the left-hand side when you go in.
But that's a fairly busy bathroom.
It is a busy one.
Are there out-of-the-way bathrooms that are good?
I'm trying to think, because the problem is some of the ones that are out of the way are really small, so they still get lines.
So I know
the one by Autopia.
Yes, I was gonna say
that one's so out of the way that one's usually not busy.
And
at
there's
all.
a lot of room in that one for the men's. I don't know about the women's.
It's not huge, but it's not bad. The only problem with that one is it's sometimes not as clean as the other ones because it's so out of the way. I feel like it kind of gets neglected. So it kind of depends. But the biggest ones are, like that Adventureland one. If you do go to the left, it's pretty big. We've also used the one over, in like by Hungry Bear restaurant down there.
Hungry Bear.
That's a decent one.
Yeah, Hungry Bear is usually. Well, it'll be closed.
It'll be closed.
It'll be closed starting July 8th.
Trying to think. of any of the other. Honestly, most of the good bathrooms are over in DCA.
I like the Star Wars bathrooms.
The Star Wars bathroom is fun because it has really funky music in it. Like, especially the ladies. It's like, what are they playing in this thing?
Unrelated to Disney, but James doesn't like the bathrooms in Hogsmeade and Universal because he doesn't like Moaning Myrtle talking to him, and he's like, ah.
He's like, there's somebody talking to me in the bathroom.
Somebody asked, I'm trying to remember, I saw the question a little bit ago. They asked, if we had any Walt Disney World vloggers that we watched, because there's so much going on there in preparation for our trip, how did we figure out where all of these things were?
We've gone enough times at this point.
Well, that's part of it. But as far as the food items, how did I learn about those? Number one, Disney Food Blog. DFB Guide is the actual channel name, and they have like top 25 best snacks at Walt Disney World, or our cheapest snacks at Walt Disney World, or things like that. And we usually watch their videos to find out what's current, what new snacks have just come out and are available, and things like that. As far as what to do there, I mean, we just know from, this was like our 12th or 13th visit. So we generally just know how things work as far as that goes. But if you want some recommendations for some YouTubers, my favorite is Paging Mr. Morrow. Nate is just a really good guy, a really great family-friendly channel. I mean, he drinks a lot on the channel, so he mostly like focuses on alcohol and things when he goes to restaurants. But in terms of, he doesn't swear or anything like that in terms of family-friendly. So I think that he's a really great one. And we used to watch All Ears. I can't really talk about it very much anymore because I don't know. When Molly left, we just felt like it wasn't as interesting. If you want to follow Molly, Mammoth Club. But I feel like Molly's content
They've
type...
become less family friendly since the split. And we didn't appreciate that.
They don't swear or anything. I think they said they only reserve that for their live streams now instead of their regular content.
It means you have to be careful what you can't just watch everything on their channel.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the direction Mammoth Club took when Molly broke away and started her own channel. I really loved All Ears when it was Molly, but All Ears still puts out really great content, unique and creative content. Like, I remember one video, they wanted to see what was the fastest way to get from Epcot to Hollywood Studios, and they literally had a video of 3 of them racing. One of them was walking, one of them was taking the boat, and one took the Skyliner, and they were trying to see who could beat who, and it was just fun and engaging the way that they did that video and things like that. So you know, if that's the type of content, like, oh, that would be right up my alley. How do I get from this park to that park? What's the best way to do it? They test them. They've even done this. What's the best way to go around Magic Kingdom? I remember them doing a video where one would start going counterclockwise and one would start going clockwise, and they had 2 workers, and they literally just timed their day to see which was the best way to accomplish the most amount of things throughout the day. So they have really creative stuff like that. That definitely All Ears if you want to check them out. But what is the best and worst ride at Disneyland California for you guys? I don't know if that means California Adventure or if that just means Disneyland in general, but I'll let you answer that question.
Favorite ride? I mean, I have a bunch of favorites, so that one's kind of hard. Like, I love Space Mountain. I love like some of the slower ones like Jungle Cruise, Big Thunder Mountain, especially now that Benjamin actually likes it. Worst ride, Matterhorn probably, just because you feel like you need to go to the chiropractor every time you ride it. Like, no offense to that ride, but we hardly ever ride that ride just because it, like, kills your back.
Mickey's Death Wheel is on your list.
Yeah, but that's DCA. I will not ride the swinging wheel of death. I got dragged on it again last year somehow, and nope. At first I was like, oh, this is okay. You know, we were still loading, but then when we did the full loop around on that wheel, nope, won't do the swinging ones anymore.
FG asks, should we fear grad night this Friday? You know, we were there grad night, actually the day that we filmed the construction update for you guys. Now, I know we weren't really in DCA very much in that video. We were a bit, but that was a grad night, and you guys were riding rides more than I was, so maybe you'd be able to talk about it. It didn't feel like there were definitely a lot of teenagers around, but it didn't feel like Knott's. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
it wasn't really super crowded or anything. Yeah, there were just a lot of groups around, so like maneuvering around the park was slightly more difficult just because like you'd have a whole group you had to walk around instead of just, a small family. But I mean, I would plan on getting Genie Plus if, it's like your only day there because it was moderately busy. It wasn't packed, but I think we waited, how long did we wait for Incredicoaster? Actually, we only waited like 35 minutes for Incredicoaster. I think it said it was a 60-minute wait or 45-minute wait, and we waited what?
28 minutes.
Yeah. So
it was posted at 40, and we waited 28.
Yeah. So the lines weren't terrible. Little Mermaid was a walk on, or no, that wasn't.
That wasn't a walk on.
We waited 20 minutes.
Yeah, we waited about 20 minutes for Mermaid.
I mean, but we didn't ride anything big. Like we didn't.
Hey Jeff.
We didn't ride Spider-Man. We didn't ride Guardians. We didn't ride any of those big rides. So if you're going, I would say at least get Genie Plus for the day, but it wasn't terrible.
I've seen a question pop up a few times, so thank you for posting. Oh, there it is again. Thank you for posting the comment a couple of times, because like I said, with the abundance of comments, it's hard to see them. They asked if we would ever consider buying into DVC, and we have talked about it, and we have thought about it. The thing that I'm most worried about is it has a huge buy-in, and what I mean by that is like to get a decent amount of points, you need like $15,000 to $20,000, and those decent amount of points, I feel like from what we had in discussions with the selling rep and from some friends that we know have it. It's the type of thing where like you have to borrow from last year and you have to borrow from next year just to have a decent like week-long stay somewhere, which means it's really only useful like once every 3 years unless you buy a lot of points.
It's useful if you go out to somewhere for like shorter trips.
Yeah.
So like if you
2 or 3 days.
You could take 3 2-day trips, or you could take 2 3-day trips, which doesn't really work for us because it costs so much to fly to the East Coast.
Or even to Aulani, like if we wanted to,
So, we can look into it in the future again, if we're financially able to. But for right now, we didn't want to limit ourselves to, only going every few years, because of that. The other thing is that, a lot of people will buy into that so they can get one of the rooms that has a kitchen. So they're cooking their own, they're saving money by cooking their own food and stuff like that. But we go to Disney for the different food. Like, we don't want to go to Disney World and have a kitchen and cook what we can cook at home type of thing. We enjoy being able to go on vacation and not cooking for a week.
Before we answer any other questions, let's go ahead and break into let's save the big box for a little bit later. We'll make, but we have a letter here. So just a reminder, you guys, we have a P.O. box, and the P.O. box is in the description of every single one of our videos, probably for the last at least 2 to 3 months, and they will be everyone forward. So if you want to send us something, to open on the stream, or just because you want to, we had gotten asked that for I feel like a year. Do you have a P.O. box? Do you have a P.O. box?
We finally do.
I finally got around to doing it. So we thought that we would have some fun and open the different things with you guys. So this is from Amanda Tran, and I marked off her address, so I don't know where she's from, just so that you guys wouldn't see her address there. But it says, nothing says thank you quite like the words thank you. So very, very fun card. Oh, and there's a nice big long write-up in here thanking us for our videos, and that they went on a trip in early March, and just expressing thanks for all the tips and tricks, and that really helped make their trip a good one. So we'll definitely have to read through this. It's got a lot. We'll have to read through all of it in just a little bit, but so great. Thank you, Amanda, if you are watching, or if you happen to watch the replay, thank you for sending this. It means a lot to us when you guys, even when you drop comments, saying, someone did this just probably about an hour ago, saying that we just had our trip. We just got back from our trip, and we're so thankful for your videos. They really helped us have a great time. And I can't express to you how much that means to us, because YouTube has its seasonalities. And what I mean by that is there are times as a YouTuber that we, question, and we say, is this really worth it? Are we helping anybody? Because especially, it's usually around Christmas, because, you've got Christmas going on and you're in this like high of, oh, it's so fun, it's Christmas. And I feel like I'm putting all these videos out and trying to work on the content, and they're the worst performing videos of the entire year. And it's like, oh, it kind of gets a little depressing, but it's just because people are busy. I have to remind myself, people are busy. I'm busy with the holidays. They're busy with the holidays. And, it's just things like that I can't tell you how much every encouraging comment that we get just helps us remember that that you guys are watching and that you appreciate the content, especially whenever we get negative comments too. I'm sure you probably remember the
we don't feed our kids.
The food situation. I don't want to start that in the comments. I really don't. The food situation from a couple of weeks ago, just with, how we edit the videos so that you never saw the children actually physically eating on camera, but I promise they eat everything that we eat. And sometimes some of those things just really get to us. Now, sometimes I can let them roll off my back. It's not a big deal. We get negative comments, especially, somebody wants to boycott Disney or whatever. If that's what you want to do, that's your own personal, decision or whatever. But I'm not going to be bothered by people who tell me I shouldn't go to Disney because, Disney's terrible or whatever. People think that everything is terrible.
The people don't want to see your butt.
Our cat's here. I don't know. You can lift her up.
That's not Brownie.
That was Mia. But in any case, your encouraging comments really help us get through those times. So thank you so much.
And thank you too.
Oh yes, thank you for the super chat, L4A. I appreciate that. Super chats, we definitely appreciate those. We take them and we buy our kids churros with them. That's what we always tell people.
Of course.
we'll buy a churro so that they can have a wonderful snack. So thank you.
Which means you're also secretly giving me a little bit of churro because I sneak some of theirs every time they get one. Which we can attest that we didn't try one at Universal or at Disney World, but we tried one at Universal, and Universal's churros are terrible compared to Disneyland's. So I think it is really that the West Coast has a much better handle on churros.
We didn't try a Walt Disney World churro.
We did not try one at Walt Disney World, but Universal's, like we got one for Benjamin while we were waiting. Like, we went and rode Velocicoaster.
Yeah.
And he's not tall enough yet. And so he had a churro while he was waiting. And I tried one bite, and I was like, oh, no, this is not very good.
Ben just asked if we're ever going to visit a foreign Disney park. And the answer is yes. But the answer is not anytime soon. The next opportunity that's going to happen will be for next year's big vacation. So it'll be May 2025 at the earliest. June 2025, because the kids get out of school later next year.
And then it's a break, like a school break out there the last week of May, so we don't want to go out there the last week of May.
So it'll be a while. It'll be a year before we make it back to there. Speaking of the food, though, Sonia just asked if what our top 3 favorite foods at Walt Disney World were. I think
Pog juice. Just kidding.
Pog juice. Pog juice. Yes, Pog juice. I think that I'm going to make a video about this. So now that we're back from our trip, and I'm shocked. I'm floored. Again, I want to just say thank you to you guys at how well the Walt Disney World videos are doing on the channel. How much you guys are watching them and loving them and commenting on them. I told Amy I fully went into this expecting them to be the worst videos in like the last month. And we can actually see a ranking 1 out of 10, the last 10 videos, 2 out of 10, 3 out of 10, 4 out of 10. And usually bad performing videos, they come in at 10 out of 10. It's the worst video of the last 10 videos. And I expected the Walt Disney World videos to fall 10 out of 10 because that's what they did last year. And that's what they did the year before that. And so I was just kind of fully expecting that to happen. And then they were like 2 out of 10, 3 out of 10. Even Animal Kingdom, I told Amy, Animal Kingdom is usually everyone's least favorite park. It's going to be the worst one. I mean, you guys are watching the Animal Kingdom video more than you're watching the Magic Kingdom video. So, you know, lots and lots of excitement and interest in the Walt Disney World videos. I've already got a request to do top money-saving tips for Walt Disney World. We had our Disneyland money-saving tips that we put back out in January, February, and someone said, do you have any tips specifically for Walt Disney World? And I started grocery listing. I have 10 that are unique to Walt Disney World that don't apply to Disneyland, and that was without really even thinking about it. So I think we can absolutely put together a money-saving tips for Walt Disney World video. I'm thinking about putting together our favorite foods that we ate on our Walt Disney World vacation and things like that. So, you know, if you guys are interested in that, following the Walt Disney World series, I'd absolutely love to continue putting out some Walt Disney World videos. Obviously, they're going to be voiceover B-roll variety. We're not there. I'm not flying back to film them.
Aww.
But
I wish.
but absolutely can put out that content if that is what you want. Rick asks, what days are we going to be in the park in June for Disneyland? And they're going to be there the week of June 18th. Let me take a look here at my calendar. At the moment, we have a park reservation for Monday, June 10th, this coming Monday, but we don't know if we're going or not because we have a baseball game the very next day.
We can't do the 14th.
And
For the thing.
okay. And then we have a plan to go on Saturday, June 15th. So what we're not sure of is if we're going to keep Monday and cancel Saturday because it's a Saturday and we'd rather go on a weekday, or if we're just going to not worry about being out 2 nights in a row. I don't know if we're going the 10th or the 15th. That's all I'm trying to say right now. And then the next time after that, actually, unfortunately, we don't have planned to go until the 25th of June, and that's just because we've got some things going on the week of the 16th that we're not going to be able to make it up there. So yeah, it looks like the 10th, the 15th, and the 25th are the next possible times that we'll be going. I know that we'll be going also July 1st. That's James's birthday, so we're going for July 1st. And then I don't have anything scheduled after July 1st as of yet. And also July is another really busy month for us. So I'm not sure. I know I'll make it up there. But I just don't know when yet because I have to work through my schedule. But that's a brief look at our Disneyland schedule. We did just renew our Legoland passes like a week ago. And so we need to make it back up to Legoland, especially with it starting to warm up. So go to the water park again. I know that I want to go to Legoland. We can't this weekend because the kids are flying in on Saturday from Utah. We could go during the week, probably. Maybe sometime next week. I don't know. And again, then the week of the 16th, we're pretty busy, so I don't know if we'll be able to do it then either. But sometime over the next 2 to 3 weeks, we want to make it to Legoland. Somebody asked. Great question just popped up while I'm working through my schedule. They asked, is this my full-time job? Yes, it is. Thankfully, and we're very blessed to have YouTube be able to take over as full-time job. Up until about 6 to 7 months ago, I mean, I've been self-employed since February of 2022, but I have a website that's like a book resources blog, and it was the primary income earner for a while. YouTube was a very, very small amount of that. And then last January, YouTube started to take off for us. We posted a Disneyland food guide that broke through the. It's very difficult to get a video to rank for a new YouTuber. And we were just having a hard time getting any Disney related videos to show up in, search and things like that. And then finally one did, and things started to snowball for us. And then I would say probably right around January of this year, the revenue from ads and things like that, that's primarily how we make money on YouTube, is every ad that you see, we get paid for the impressions that you see. I don't know the logistics and details of it. I don't set the ads. I don't make the ads. I don't choose when the ads go. I don't choose how many ads there are or anything like that. YouTube just does all of that for me. I don't get to choose what ads you see either. I actually had somebody complaining about the ads that they were watching, saying, you're supposed to be a family-friendly channel. Why is this type of content in the ads? It's like, the ads are based on what you search and do on your computer. So more or less, what are you researching that you are getting those types of ads popping up on my channel? But honestly, at this point, YouTube is the primary income source. The book resources blog actually has fizzled. It's about dead at this point. Back in October, I'm not going to try to bore you guys, but back in October,
you're gonna bore them with...
back in October, Google changed up their algorithm, and a lot of what they're called is affiliate sites that focus on resources with links. So, like a full-on list of, if you want to read the Jack Reacher books, here is the order in which to read those books. And then each and every book is a link to go buy the book. That's an affiliate, because it'll take you to Amazon where you can buy it, and then I made money when you bought the book. And those sites got penalized very heavily back in October, to the point where I was making some pretty decent money on that blog, and like I said, now it's dead. If YouTube hadn't picked up, we would be in serious trouble, looking at, like, do I need to go back to a full-time job, 9 to 5. Thankfully, that didn't happen. YouTube picked up, and that's, again, all because of you guys. So, again, thank you for watching. Thank you for hitting the like button, for commenting. All of that helps show our videos to new viewers, and then as we continue to grow, it makes it so that we're able to continue doing this. So, again, thank you. Are there rides that don't allow recording? At Disneyland, the only one that two. There's only two I've ever been yelled at for recording at Disneyland, and it's been hit or miss. Sometimes they let me, sometimes they yell at me. And Credit Coaster is one of them, and Goofy's Sky School is the other one.
Goofy's Sky School is so rough, you almost don't want to record anyway, because you might lose your phone.
Those two are the only ones that I've ever been yelled at for recording on. Even at Walt Disney World, there's actually a pre-show for the Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind that says something like, the use of mobile recording devices is strictly prohibited. And I mean it. It literally says that in the preview for Cosmic Rewind.
Why are they trying to FaceTime?
I don't know. And people record on it all the time. They never yelled, like the cast members didn't yell at me. It was just in the preview of the thing. But anyway,
texted my dad.
Okay. James keeps trying to FaceTime us. Or Benjamin keeps trying to FaceTime us while we're doing this.
Just text?
But Universal won't let you really record on anything. I am trying to remember even one ride that you could probably record on.
Anything, I don't think.
I think the Minions Villain Con you could, but why would you want to? Because you're playing a video game. Men in Black, I thought, like, maybe you could, because it's also a video game, but yeah, they make you put your stuff in a locker. That's what Universal really has, a lot of lockers. They make you use lockers. So when you watch the Universal videos, in fact, Islands of Adventure is going to be coming out on Friday. Regular Universal Studios Florida will be coming out on Monday. There's no ride footage. I make up for ride footage with queue. So you'll get to see the amazing immersive queues, because if there's one thing that Universal does better than Disney, it's their queues. They do a phenomenal job with their queues, especially the Harry Potter queues. Love those.
It's very claustrophobic in Hagrid's queue.
Oh,
The tunnels are very
Well,
like...
okay, yeah, the tunnels. Yeah, the tunnels. I saw a question that popped up a couple of times here. We'll go ahead and answer that. How did you two meet?
College.
College, yeah. College is the short of it. Specifically, though, a missions trip to Australia. So we met. We were both team members to go out to Australia and help them with a couple of outreaches and different activities that they had planned there. It was like a like a summer outreach sort of fun thing that they would do with our college. And so we met there, and then we wanted to keep in touch with everybody after the trip. You know, you make a lot of friends on one of those types of outreach trips. And I said, you know, like, let's try to keep everyone together. And for the first like week or two, I would say we got the whole group, like all 10 to 12 of us to meet up. And then eventually we started doing this weekly, and people just started disappearing.
I guess the two of us.
And then, yeah, it got down to the point where only Amy and I were really showing up. So we started inviting our friends so that it wasn't awkward that we were meeting. And then our two friend groups got really, really close. And in fact, there's another couple that linked up because of our friend groups, and they got married. And it's my best friend's brother. He married one of Amy's best friend's friends. So it was interesting on how that happened. And also, a really weird situation with that. But my best friend married one of my friend's brother's sisters. So yeah, it's just all convoluted, but all because of the little get together that we had. So a bunch of people got married out of that little get together. Amy is Indian, full Indian as far as we're aware. She doesn't 100% know.
Yeah, I don't know.
But born in Calcutta, and she was adopted at 5 months old. So she doesn't speak any Hindi or anything like that. But
thought about Googling how to learn online, but, you know, there'd be no point.
Yep. Let's see. Feel free to drop some comments if you got questions. Would love to see a video on family-friendly outings in California or specific to San Diego. We used to do that. We used to do it a lot. And this goes back to the business sort of things. And again, don't want to bore you guys, but it goes back to when videos don't perform well on the channel, a topic of video,
YouTube
or
thinks that you don't like anything.
Yeah, if we go somewhere, like if you wondered why we stopped going to the zoo or stopped going to SeaWorld or places like that, it's because we primarily focus on the places that drive in the most amount of views, because it tells us those are the videos you're most interested in, and it also tells us, you know, well, I mean, it helps us be able to do this as a full-time job, that sort of thing. So if we're going places and a video performs very poorly, I generally say, oh, maybe we shouldn't do that type of video again. So if you really want to see other than Disneyland content, when other than Disneyland content appears on the channel, like the Walt Disney World videos or our Alani videos from last year, or Legoland when they appear, make sure that you're watching those videos. Even if you can't watch it right away, go back and watch it, that sort of thing. It really does help us determine what to put on the channel. Because if I do a outings in San Diego and then nobody watches it, it's very unlikely I'm going to do one of those outings videos again, if that makes sense. So yeah, we used to stop that. You want to answer that one? It says, Amy, are you a teacher?
I'm not a teacher, but I'm a teacher's aide. So I do work with kids during the school year. So I am off right now. Since the kids are off of school, I am off of work until August. But yeah, during the school year, I am working about 25 hours a week with a bunch of kids. So there are some days, though, where I come home and I'm just like, oh, hi, kids. Like, go disappear on me.
Somebody asked when we think Tiana's will open.
It's hard to say.
Everything that I've been reading from people who are smarter than me, like September 30th ish.
October.
The date is flexible, but around then. Why? Because what they did is they a couple of weeks ago, a week or two ago, they ran their first tests of the ride vehicles at Disneyland. It's called sandbag testing, and the sandbags simulate the weight of a person in the ride vehicles, and those started running down the slopes. And from the moment they started doing that at Walt Disney World till the date that they have announced Disney World's Tiana's is opening was like 122 days. So what they did is they took the date of our first sandbag test and then they added 122 days and got approximately September 30th. So that's an approximate. It could be sooner than that. It could be later than that because Disney may choose with Critter Country being completely closed in the renovations, then maybe they need an extra week or two to finish up those things.
Thing is they might want to try to open. They might want to open Haunted Mansion, Tiana's, like all that area back up like around the same time.
Yeah.
But right now it is a giant mess. Like that whole side of the park is just.
It could potentially also open earlier than September 30th because if you think about it, I'm going to say they've worked out the kinks, but they haven't because obviously there are still kinks going on if you're paying attention at all to what's going on in Walt Disney World. It is a mess right now.
They keep evacuating people.
It is. Tiana's is a mess. They're doing cast member previews, and they're saying it's breaking constantly. But people said that it broke constantly before. And I think that might just be a Walt Disney World problem then, because Disneyland's, I don't recall breaking quite as often as they claim that it does at World.
But they've got, like, if you look at the construction right now, they've got a lot of work to go before, like, it's not going to be, in the next month or two, like, all of a sudden.
Thank you, Rick, for the super chat. Greatly appreciate that. Video idea to go Disneyland pool hopping.
Can't really do
that. We can't really do that simply because you have to be a hotel guest to go to a pool. But what we can do is we are thinking about staying at the Courtyard Marriott, which is a hotel that's on Harbor Boulevard. It's got a really awesome water park. And I think, does the Cambria have a water park? We're thinking about staying at the Cambria at some point. So if, and we've also stayed at the Howard Johnson. We've done the Pixar Place, which they had a pool. And I don't think we've stayed, we might have briefly went in the pool at the Anaheim Hotel. But
the kids did. I don't know if we recorded it though.
But what we can do is put together a video once we get enough footage. So it's not going to be anytime soon, but it's the best that I can promise you. Once we get enough hotels with some pretty decent, unique varieties of pools, water park type pools and that sort of thing, we can do a video on the hotels that all have these types of water park pools. And then we can rank them and price them out and things like that to give you sort of like a guide.
Yeah, someone asked, have we gone to Great Wolf Lodge? That's also
another
option.
Yes. That's only 10 minutes from Disneyland.
We love that.
We love that. So I could definitely put that in that same sort of video. So I love the idea. And we are absolutely going to be...
As far as beach, though, we have no idea because we don't go to the beach up there.
Beaches, people ask me that all the time, too. And I'm sorry to say...
You hate sand.
Well, it's not that. It's just we don't go to the beach up there because we're from San Diego. Now, I can tell you our favorite beaches down here. We've been to several beaches down this way. Coronado Beach is our favorite just because we love Coronado. It's probably the busiest, though.
I don't think you can even go in the water right now, though.
Well, probably not right now because...
they're dealing with sewage runoff.
It's so close to Mexico. What happens is there's a lot of water pollution coming out of Mexico, and if the currents push the pollution up into San Diego, they won't let people on the beach. Well, you can go on the beach, you just can't go in the water. We've also gone to Mission Beach before, which is a really nice like boardwalky sort of feel to it. But it's also another popular beach if you want like quiet type beaches.
Someone asked for Pixar Hotel, if you're checked in but your room's not ready, you can still access their pathway. We have a video from when we stayed there. We checked in, we dropped off our luggage with Bell Services, but they still gave us, I think, a key card already. It just wasn't activated to a room yet because we didn't have
Yes.
a room number. But we had a key
Correct.
card that would at least get us through the entrance into DCA or through Grand California and into Disneyland entrance. So you can still access the entrance.
So we figure we'll probably break into the box now.
Ooh, the big box.
The big box. Amy has been staring at this box since we picked it up from the post office, wanting to open it because she knows exactly who it's from, and there's something in here that she thinks that she knows what's in here. So this is from Carissa Gorman, and she told us she was sending this. She's from Australia, and they flew out here with some goodies for us, and then they mailed it from like Los Angeles or Anaheim, so that they didn't have to pay.
There's Aussie goodies in here.
Yeah, so there should be Aussie goodies in here, and we lived in Australia for a year, and so Amy is really looking forward to the Aussie goodies that are in here.
Hope you enjoy your treats. Yes, we will enjoy our treats.
Ooh, so we have Australia's Violet Crumble.
Look, we got it.
Ooh, Aussie artwork, so Aboriginal artwork bag.
Very nice.
So that's really cool
grocery
too.
bag.
Have you ever had Violet Crumble?
Oh yeah, they're good.
Okay, I don't think I've had these
You
before.
never had Violet Crumble?
No, so I'm excited. I'm excited to try that.
There's a lot of goodies in here.
There are a lot of goodies in here.
Hundreds
and thousands
cookies.
biscuits.
Biscuits, pickies.
So cookies are not cookies in Australia. They're biscuits. And Bickies for short.
Bicky. Oh, it even says Bickies.
Yeah, Bickies. The Australians love to abbreviate everything. I mean, absolutely everything. There's fun YouTube videos about them taking ordinary, average words and abbreviating them. For instance, one of my favorites that I still don't understand, maybe some Aussies who are watching can illuminate us. I probably should have asked this when we lived there. But how do you get Arvo out of afternoon? I don't understand it. Sunnies for sunglasses, I get, right? Bickies
for breakfast.
Brekkie for breakfast. I get these abbreviations, but Arvo for afternoon, I still don't understand it. So maybe somebody can help out with that one. But
this is an ice TikTok. So like clock with icing.
TikTok?
Yeah.
Not the app.
Yeah.
A clock.
Like TikTok clock.
TikTok clocks.
TikTok croc.
TikTok croc. Glucogel. Jelly beans.
I don't think we've ever tried those.
I don't think I have either. So this is exciting. We lived there for a year. We've eaten lots of snacks, but still we're finding some we've never had before.
Shortbread creams.
Arnott's is a wonderful
Arnott's.
brand. Oh, love them. And Tim Tams. This is what Amy was most looking forward to.
Yes.
Tim Tams. We got to do the Tim Tam Slam. So what's the Tim Tam Slam, you say? That is when you bite one corner of the biscuit, and then you bite the opposite corner of the biscuit, and you use the biscuit as a straw to suck milk up into the Tim Tam, and then you eat the Tim Tam filled with milk. Oh man, best thing ever. Gotta love the Tim Tam Slam.
The last comment about this Arvo turns the ruby.
This Arvo turns into RV turns into Sarv. Aussie slang is hilarious.
Okay, this is probably mostly for kids, but
Furry friends?
Some good old Cadbury chocolate.
Ah, Cadbury. So
and Cadbury chocolate in Australia, Canada, and England tastes far better than American Cadbury, because American Cadbury chocolate is made by Hershey's. So it doesn't taste much different than Hershey's. Whereas if you go to England, Australia, or Canada, it's made differently, and it tastes a whole lot better.
Yeah, there's something the FDA doesn't like or whatever or something, so that it's a totally different ingredient in America.
And then Monte Carlo. I've never heard of these ones either.
I think I've seen them. I don't think... Oh, you know what? We've had some of those before. At least I have.
I wonder if I like them. It has coconut, but we'll see.
Oh, that's probably why I've had it before, because I like coconut. Amy does not like coconut.
But
it's a texture thing.
It depends. If it's like the completely desiccated coconut, it's fine.
So thank you so much, Carissa. Oh, this is amazing. Yeah. Lots and lots of Aussie goodies. I cannot wait to dive into those. Many we have not had in a really long time. So we can get Tim Tams here.
Which means you guys should be able to have access to Tim Tams.
We can get Tim Tams in America. Target,
World Market.
Target has them. World Market has them.
Albertsons even.
Yeah. So if you want to try some Aussie snacks, even here in America, you can go get some Tim Tams. Try the Tim Tam
Slam. Take a video of you doing it and then send it to us on Instagram.
Somebody had said we need to do the Tim Tam Slam with hot chocolate.
Ooh.
That is really good.
Okay, we might have to try that. But if you do the Tim Tam Slam, you should record it and send it to us on Instagram.
The rest of these though, like the hundreds and thousands. Hundreds and thousands is just the Aussie word for like sprinkles. And that is something that I've definitely never seen here. A lot of these biscuits I haven't seen for sale here.
You can't get Arnott stuff here. So
is it not? Is the Tim Tam not? Oh, is it Pepperidge Farm here?
It used to be, but now you can actually buy the Tim Tam brand.
Okay.
Oh, but that's Arnott's too.
Yeah. Well, I mean.
Oh, but is it made?
When Tim Tams first came to America, Pepperidge Farm was the brand that made it here.
It tasted good.
So I don't know if Pepperidge Farm still makes it.
I'm checking my Target app because I can buy Tim Tams.
Gotta look for your Tim Tams.
No, I don't want Tim Tebow.
Tim Tebow.
Why is it not showing up?
Does food usually show?
Yeah. Oh. Tim Tam cookies.
Yeah. Don't know. Oh wait, here we go. Walmart. Walmart has them. It says Arnott's.
Really?
Yeah.
So.
Or Arnott's.
Yeah. So get Tim Tams if you want to try something. For those of you who are watching who are not from Australia, if you want to try something.
Walmart looks like they have some too. So yeah. All right.
Why is it $12?
Well, yeah, it's $12 here.
It's cheaper. No, like Albertsons has them for $5.
Oh, okay.
So.
Well, Walmart had it for $12. I don't know why Walmart had it for $12.
Don't go buy them at Walmart. Go buy them from like one of the other grocery stores.
Gray stuff versus churro.
Disneyland churro.
Gray stuff for me.
Yeah, I mean it depends on what you want. Like, I like the churros better than the gray stuff. But I mean, if you're a cupcake fan, then the gray stuff is a good alternative to like just a Disneyland cupcake.
Christy asks, what do you think's better, Walt Disney World or Disneyland? And I'm gonna pull a James. Both. That's what he would say. I'd ask him an either or question or a yes or no answer, and he tells me like both or something, like something that doesn't make any logical sense. But I'm gonna answer that way. I like them both. They're completely different. Somebody actually just asked me that recently it wasn't the same question, but I answered that they're completely different experiences. So Disneyland is smaller and quaint. It's
easier to walk around.
Easier to walk around, easier to do everything. You've got two parks right next to each other. The hotels are nice and close. I mean, you literally check into a hotel, even if it's a Good Neighbor hotel, and you're in this little area where you don't need to step foot in a vehicle for your entire trip. So if it's 5 days, you're there for 5 days, and you can walk everywhere, and it's great. Walt Disney World, you have to drive absolutely everywhere. It doesn't matter. Well, I mean, you can take the bus transportation, but you have to get in a vehicle to go everywhere. Well, it's huge. It's massive.
And once you get to like Disneyland, like you said, if you get to the park, you can go to Disneyland, to DCA, to Downtown Disney, all within 10 minutes of each other. Whereas in Disney World, to get from one part to the other usually takes a minimum of, maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes from Hollywood Studios to Epcot. But otherwise, like, you plan for an hour of travel time between parks, which is kind of why with Disney World, we don't really ever buy a park hopper anymore. We wish this last trip, we kind of wish we had it the last, 2 days we were there, but unfortunately, it's not really worth the cost to only add it for 2 days. You almost need it for, the whole trip or not at all. But it just takes so much time to hop in Disney World. I think if we ever went back to Disney World at a colder time of the year, where it's not blazing hot and we're actually staying in the park during the afternoon, then I would actually maybe get a park hopper, because then we could actually last until 3 in the afternoon and then swap parks.
Yeah.
But when we go in May, we are so hot by 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, that we are going back to the hotel for a rest.
The afternoon break is absolutely necessary.
And we're taking like a 3-hour break in the afternoon, so we want to go back to the same park and not hop. But, yeah, so they're just completely different.
Rebecca's asking, she said she forgot about the live. She hopes she's not joining at the end. The way we do our live streams here is we basically keep things going until we're so exhausted that we turn the screen off, or you guys stop asking questions. So we don't just like cap it and, oh, it's almost 7 o'clock, it's been an hour, we're going to be done. We'll probably easily go till 8 o'clock, if not potentially a little bit past that. The kids aren't here, and if so, you probably missed that if you weren't here at the beginning. The kids flew to Utah to be with Nanny and Papa for the week. Just the weekend rather. They flew them out there. They live here, and they have also a home in Utah where Amy's sister lives, and they go back there maybe like 3 months out of the year. And they're there right now, and they're like, it would be really fun if we flew the boys out here. And we're like, why? And they're like, for fun. And it's like, okay, if that's what you want to do. So we asked the kids, do you want to fly on a plane all by yourselves to go see Nanny and Papa?
And they're like, yeah.
So Amy walked them in, took them through security, sat at the gate with them today, got them on the plane, and then she had to wait there until the plane took off, just in case there was a technical malfunction or whatever, they need to come back to the gate. But then once they took off, she was able to leave, and then Nanny was already, she went through security. They had a special pass to get through security and was waiting at the gate when the boys got off the plane. And so really, really fun experience for them. They're there for the next 3 days, and they'll be coming back on Saturday. So they're not here, which means that like Amy doesn't have to go get them ready for bed or anything like that. So yeah, we've got time. We're not pressed or anything like that.
Because no one's staring at goodies.
Staring at the good, good morsels. There was something Walt Disney World that somebody was asking that I feel like. Oh, they mentioned John. John mentioned taking the bus at Magic Kingdom closing, and yes, so.
Well, we drove that day, so it's hard to say.
We knew that the bus is the best way to go to Magic Kingdom. Out of all the transportation styles that you can go about for getting to Magic Kingdom, the bus is the least amount of headaches. But what happened the most recent on the Magic Kingdom video that you guys saw, we rode the bus in the morning, and then we were going to ride the bus in the evening, and we approached the bus, and it filled up, and the bus drove away full, and they said that the next bus would be there in 20 minutes, and we didn't want to wait 20 minutes, so we just decided to drive, thinking, it won't be that bad. We're not going to leave the park at 9 when fireworks are done, so we're not going to be leaving with everybody else. We'll wait an hour. And it'll be fine. Nobody will, well, not nobody, but there'll be far fewer people leaving the park at like 10:30 at night. So we thought it wouldn't be an issue. Lo and behold, it appears that the same amount of people are pouring out of that park pretty much from the moment the fireworks end until the park closes. Like, it's just a constant, massive stream. We were shocked. There were lines for the monorail. They had fences up and queues. They had queues, and like back of the line starts here poles for the monorail and for the ferry. And I'm like, what is this? We never stay. We never stay. You notice that in our Disneyland videos, in our Walt Disney World videos, we never stay for fireworks and the madhouse that's afterwards. And we thought that we were smart waiting an hour after fireworks to leave.
The kids were troopers, though.
Yeah, they were troopers. Took us an hour to get back. And that's Walt Disney World in a nutshell. Takes an hour to get anywhere.
So I don't know what the bus lines would have been like, but I expect them to have been crazy and it still to have taken an hour. Even if we had taken the bus.
Do the kids ever get tired of going to Disneyland? Benjamin, I feel like, is getting there. James, not so much. But lately we've noticed with Benjamin, By about 3 in the afternoon, when normally if we were at, if we had a hotel or if we were at Walt Disney World, we'd be taking that afternoon break. Around that time where he's getting physically exhausted, he just says, I want to go home. The problem is, especially as we approach summer, um, traffic to get home is nuts. For people who aren't San Diego locals, you will probably find this helpful if you ever plan to visit San Diego from like the Anaheim area. But if you try to go south pretty much afternoon from Anaheim down to San Diego, you will get stuck in
2-hour traffic.
Yeah, it's essentially like 2 hours on top of what it would normally take you because of some very poor planning of highways. There is a highway that when you get off of the 5 South, you immediately are greeted by a traffic light to get onto another highway. So rather than it being a full merge that you can just drive on, they have to get off, they reach a traffic light, and then they turn left onto the highway. That traffic light causes massive backups on the 5, and it creates traffic all the way through Camp Pendleton. It's massive traffic every single day, especially during the summer because of beach traffic. People that are heading south to go to the beaches. It's a madhouse. It's nuts. It's crazy. We cannot leave Disneyland any earlier than about 6 p.m. If we don't want to hit massive traffic. And so what we've been finding lately is that by 3, Benjamin wants to come home.
But I think that's just because he's tired. It's not like he's tired of Disney.
But he is, in a sense. He doesn't want to ride any more rides.
He's just tired.
He doesn't want to do anything else. He just wants to go home. And anytime that they get bored of me filming a video, like if they're coming with me, that's another, opportunity where they're like, I don't want to be here. Generally, what happens is when I'm filming videos and my family is up there with me, and I'm filming a video that I think the kids will find boring, I send Amy and the kids to go do something else. And generally, they'll go ride rides.
Now, I think it'll help once the Redwood Creek Challenge Trail opens up.
Because that play area
right
is down
now.
That
now. Play area has been closed so long, I can't take the kids over there. That was usually our go-to of when Benjamin starts acting, oh, I don't want to ride anything right now just because it's busy. Like he can't really ride any of like his favorite rides because they're too long of a line. I would take them over to the Challenge Trail, set them loose, and let them go play on slides and ropes, for an hour. And they loved it. And it usually, we give them that little energy boost of, oh, okay, let's keep going. But right now with that being closed, I think that will help once that reopens.
Someone asked about early entry at Disneyland. Where should they go first? Peter Pan. Peter Pan, hands down. Space Mountain will not get a line until the regular rope drop. So during early entry, always Peter Pan. Now Peter Pan will get to a 20-minute wait, even before regular rope drop, but that still beats 35, 40, 60 minutes later on in the day. So even if you're not at the front of the early entry rope drop, the worst case scenario is you're waiting 20 minutes, and you should still have time to make it over to Space Mountain before the regular rope drop crowd releases. Or here's another hot tip for you. If you are early entry and you want to do Rise of the Resistance, if you actually position yourself at the rope in Fantasyland as close to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge as possible, you should actually be able to make it to Rise of the Resistance before all of the regular rope drop crowds. So early entry will help you get at the front of the line for Rise of the Resistance. Does that mean it's still a good idea? No, because as we explained,
it won't be working.
As we explained earlier, if you were here for the big explanation, it's often not open first thing, so it often doesn't open till 8:15 or 8:20 because of delayed entry, and then it just takes 20 minutes to get through all the pre-shows anyway. So it's still a huge time commitment in the morning. However, if you've already polished off Peter Pan because you were at the front of that rope drop line, took you 5 minutes to ride Peter Pan, and then maybe you went and did Alice in Wonderland, and then you went and did Snow White, and you got all 3 of those done before even 8:50 hits, because they're all short rides. Peter Pan's like a 2-minute ride. You ride that ride, and Snow White's like a 3-minute ride, and you walk on that. I mean, you can have both of those done before 8:40 or not 8:40, 7:40, before 7:40 even rolls around. And so you might say, hey, we've already ridden 3 rides. Let's just go wait Rise of the Resistance. And that's a good strategy for early entry crowds. So thank you so much for the super chat. Blink and you miss it. I really appreciate the fact that your channel gives honest and practical planning advice when so many channels are just dripping with paid by Disney energy. Please keep it up. You know, we often say that we have no problem saying when something is bad or something doesn't taste good. I'll never forget this. I'll never forget it. When we went to the opening of Toontown, and there were so many vloggers there. Like, we usually don't show up for like the big vlogger events. I mean, I do when it comes to after hours events, but I feel like there's enough regular people there that you don't notice the vloggers as much. But whenever they're like opening a new land or something, I feel like you see them all over the place. And I am one, so I can't really speak too much about it, but there are the fake ones that they hold their camera up and they're smiling and it's like, oh, this is the greatest drink ever. It's so awesome. Bloop. Oh, that was so terrible. And then they just throw it in the trash can. I mean, we've witnessed that. We have witnessed it.
We're like, wait, they just told their viewers.
Why?
That was great. Turn the camera off and then throw it away. It
Why would you tell people something is great if it's not?
Yeah, we're not.
I don't understand it. I don't. But,
yeah. We usually tell you if it's good or bad.
Okay, I do understand it. Here's why. I think people want to stay on Disney's good side. Because if you bash Disney often enough about things, Disney won't invite you to things. Not that I've ever been invited by Disney to anything anyway. But I was talking with Fresh Baked about that. And why am I calling out your food reviews? David from Big Red Journey's texting me right now. No, I'm not. David's a good friend of mine. We meet up all the time. He's probably the only YouTuber that I would say I'm a really, really close friend with. Now, David from Fresh Baked. So David from Big Red Journeys and David from Fresh Baked. We have 2 Davids. David from Fresh Baked, I'm getting to know a little bit more, but I wouldn't quite put him on like, you know, like super friend level yet. But David from Big Red Journeys is absolutely probably my best friend in San Diego even. I don't make a whole lot of friends, actually. I don't have a whole lot of friends. I'm a very introverted and quiet person. I know you don't see that on the camera a whole lot because I'm very comfortable in front of a camera. But I am a very quiet and introverted person. And so I don't have a whole lot of friends, but David from Big Red Journeys is my best friend probably here in San Diego, and so he and I he ribs me a lot, and here's an example. Okay, so we were at Walt Disney World, and he said, "Hey, can you look for some Three Caballeros merch for me?" Because we have some here in Disneyland, but obviously Mexico Pavilion is going to have the most Three Caballeros merch. And so I went and I showed him everything that they had, and he's like, "Oh, can you buy me this and you can buy me that?" So I bought it for him. And then he sends me a Venmo, and it says illegal merchandise from Mexico or something like that. And I'm like, it's not illegal merchandise from Mexico. Don't get the cops after me, man. but all in good fun. David's a great guy. Love hanging out with David from Big Red Journeys. But yes, Fresh Baked is also really nice, as Sonia says. I've hung out with him a few times now. So how I got connected with him is with Getaway Today. Both of us are with Getaway Today, and so for the Getaway Today events that we've done, I've been able to meet him a couple of times. So now when we see each other in the park, we're like, "Oh, hey, how's it going?" And I'll usually talk with him a bit. This last Disneyland video that I put out, construction update, I ran into him in Downtown Disney while I was filming the new Downtown Disney entrance, and I said, you know, "Oh, what are you doing right now?" He said, "I'm just filming an update through Downtown Disney." He said, "Oh, well, so am I." And I said, "So I'll walk with you." So yeah, we walked around Downtown Disney, and we were chatting about some of the different things that are coming and stuff like that. And David from Fresh Baked is great too, but he actually told me once, he said, "Yeah, Disney never invites me to anything because I bash them too much. I'm too harsh with them on the channel. If I don't like something, or I don't like the way that they're planning things, or how they've gone, I have no problem saying that. And Disney doesn't invite me to things. So I imagine that's why people are fake. That was a really long rabbit trail for the people who are fake on camera. But that's probably why people are fake on camera, because they want to stay on Disney's good side. And the way I look at it is, I want Disney to provide the best possible guest experience that they can. And that doesn't mean that I'm going to be overtly negative about Disney, but if they made a food item that doesn't hit well, or if they came up with a policy that, you know, isn't really all that great from a consumer perspective, how else are they going to know that it's not working if people don't talk about it? And so yeah, I like to be vocal about things when I think they're not working, or when I think that they could be better. When is the next time? Wait. Oh, another super chat.
Scroll up
let me scroll up. Sorry, I can scroll up. It's there. Facade Games, thank you so much.
Thank you.
This says, thank you for all your wonderful videos. We got so many rides in with your advice. I hadn't been since I was a kid, so it was awesome. Oh, thank you. So glad to hear that.
Do you have a favorite ride that you like?
Yes. What was, if you haven't been since you were a kid, what was your favorite thing, your favorite part about coming back to Disneyland, in the first time in a really long time? What is the best Dole Whip flavor, Rick asks, and where to buy in the parks? Does Tangaroa Cafe have no flavors?
I miss when Disneyland and even Disney World, they used to have a raspberry Dole Whip flavor, and we missed that one, because we used to get the raspberry was my favorite. We used to get the raspberry pineapple swirl, and they don't have that anymore. Out of the current ones, I mean, lately we've just been getting pineapple. We did do in Disney World a pineapple coconut
I was going to say, you really liked the pineapple coconut swirl.
And I really like that, but I don't think you can get that out here. So.
No, they don't have coconut.
Now, I do know that Tangaroa is getting... They might have some other stuff, because they just got a new float out there. But I don't know if that has actual coconut Dole Whip, or if that just has coconut on it.
I'm pulling up Tangaroa's menu right now on my laptop. Would it be under... It's not Grab and Go. Definitely not Grab and Go. Beverages.
They have an extensive menu.
They do have a big menu. There it is, Dole Whip. Pineapple soft... It just says pineapple soft serve. It doesn't even give me any other flavors.
Is it a new one?
Available at the patio bar only. Pineapple soft serve. Dole Whip float, and then it says Dole Whip float with a splash of rum.
Yeah, but they just came out with a new one, and I'm wondering, like, where you find that. I thought it was at Tangaroa, but now I
don't see it on here.
Not so sure. Okay, let me do some.
Rebecca gave a super chat. Thank you so much. I met you guys in December when you were waiting for the Christmas parade. Amy recommended the gingerbread. It was the best thing ever. Yes. Oh, the gingerbread.
It's probably a good thing they don't have those all year round, because I would be eating them all year round.
How long does it take to film a video and to edit a video? Well, everything's a little bit different. So, the filming is, you know, obviously just however long it takes throughout the day. On average, if we're filming a tip video, it makes me about an hour and a half for me to film the different tips in the tips video. And then the editing of a tips video, generally speaking, if I have 35 to 40 minutes of raw footage, it'll edit down to about 20 minutes. So usually I cut it in half. There are times where I mess things up, so I say them again. And I don't delete the video while I'm there. If I messed up, I just keep rolling with it. And then I edit in post. So I usually will, like, if I got 40 minutes, it'll cut down to 20. And then I have to do a bunch of, like, screenshots and research for a lot of the, like, the things that, the B-roll, if you will, that comes over top of it. Finding B-roll is really difficult sometimes. I have a very extensive library of footage that goes back 3 years from all the times that we've been filming. So finding the exact right thing that I need for the exact right moment. If it's just like a food item, I have a whole library of those. If it's just a ride, I have a whole library of just those. But sometimes I think like, oh, I wish that I could show that cue. And I didn't do it while I was there, and I live in San Diego, so I can't just drive back up and get it very easily because it's an hour and a half drive. So I looked through my footage to try to find if I have a video of that queue. And that means that I have to remember on what visit I rode that ride to see what visit I might show the queue. And it takes me a while to find these things. So that can take a while. And generally speaking, it takes me about 3 to 4 hours in total from start to finish on editing to put a tip video together. If I'm doing a day vlog, it all just depends on how long the vlog is. For the Walt Disney World videos, I have about an hour and 40 minutes of raw footage. I'm editing down to about 55 minutes finished, as you guys are finding. And that too is taking me in the 3 to 4 hour range for each edit. The guides, the guide videos, those are the most complex and in-depth videos that I put together, and sometimes they take me between 8 to 12 hours, and the finished video is like 10 minutes. For 10 minutes of finished video, it takes me 8 to 12 hours sometimes for some of those videos. So they are... in January is when I work the most, and in December is when I work the least, because there's so little going on in December. I feel like sometimes it's a very slow month, and then I hit January and I'm working 70, 80-hour weeks to put out all the like new guides for the year. And so I make up for the lack of work in December and January. It's insane sometimes. But on average, I would say it's like 2 hours of filming for a particular video and about 4 hours of editing. That's a good average. What game plan would you recommend for rope dropping solo? Ooh. It's not something I've really thought about. Yeah, because you don't need to go to Space Mountain first because you have single rider line.
Someone said the other day that single rider is becoming so popular there, it took as long as the regular line.
I have been seeing that the line is now sticking out. They've got the line outside the queue a little bit now, too.
Well, now they've moved it. The other day they moved it in front of the theater.
That's what I mean, yeah. So you can do the single rider line rides pretty much whenever, I suppose. So I would say maybe like Indiana Jones.
Yeah, because they sometimes have single rider, but it's hit or miss. So I would go ride that first. Maybe go do Big Thunder, and stuff like that. Ryan, able skeevers, always able skeevers.
Ryan, remind me, do you live in? You don't live in Solvang, right? You live about 30 minutes away from Solvang. We were this close
to going there today.
Driving up today, spending the day there tomorrow at Solvang. But we decided, we just got back from Walt Disney World. We don't need to go because, the kids are gone. Remember, the kids are gone. So we're like, hey, maybe we should go somewhere. So we said Solvang, Vegas. What was the other option? Sedona, or you even said
Long Beach.
Not Long Beach. Monterey. You said let's go somewhere for the weekend, or for a couple days, and we started pricing everything out. Going to Vegas just for 2 nights, even though the hotels are pretty much like semi dirt cheap, like $100. You've got all the resort fees, and then you've got gas, and then you've got food, and you've got, if you want to go to a magic show or whatever, you got that on top. It was going to cost us about $800 to $1,000 to go to Vegas for 2 nights. Going to Solvang was going to cost us about $400 to $500 just for 1 night, once we figure in food and gas and all of that sort of thing. So we said, you know what we're going to do? We desperately need a new patio set. We're going to save the money, and we're just going to buy a patio set. We were just gone.
So we went and did the adult thing and looked at patio furniture.
Yeah, we went to Home Depot and Lowe's.
And ate lunch at IKEA.
But
blue milk? No.
Amy doesn't. I like blue milk. Yeah, I'm team blue. Of blue milk and green milk, I prefer blue milk.
I'm team nothing.
Amy doesn't like any milk.
Go get a cold brew black calf.
Yeah.
Cold brew black calf is way better.
Yep. Disney cruise in the future. Another question that we get all the time, I feel like.
One day.
Okay, so somebody asked about international trips earlier, and we briefly mentioned going international next year. Let's just walk through. Here's the thing: we can only afford big trips once a year right now. If the channel gets a little larger, we might be able to afford more trips, and we might be able to do more experiences for you guys. But right now, we can only afford one big trip per year. And so last year it was Aulani. This year it's Walt Disney World. Next year it's Disneyland Paris, because we haven't been to England to visit Amy's relatives since 2018. Well, she was there very briefly for a funeral in 2020, right before all the shutdowns. But I was not there, so I haven't been in 6 years. One of her aunts and uncles, actually just was out here visiting with us yesterday. In fact, they flew back to England, and we spent the day with them between their layover yesterday, and we saw them 3 weeks ago when they first arrived. And then they did a big road trip with Amy's parents. So that was their primary purpose for coming out. But we saw them at the beginning and the end of their trip. And so, but we haven't seen the other aunt and uncle in a while, and then all of her cousins and things like that. So her parents are British. They're from England. And somebody was asking earlier about Amy's ethnicity. She was born in India, raised by British parents in America. So she often says she has no idea what she is. So yeah, her family is all in England. So we're thinking about flying out to England next year to visit them and doing a Disneyland Paris while we're out there. So that would be next year.
We'll also go to London one day. So we'd probably
London.
We'd probably put out a London vlog.
A London vlog, a Paris vlog, and 2 Disneyland Paris vlogs. Disneyland Paris and Walt Disney Studios. So we would have those 4 vlogs probably from that trip. And then the following year, 2026 is our 15-year anniversary. So we're thinking about going to Tokyo without the kids, leaving the kiddos at home, as much as they would probably love to go.
They want to go.
I know, but it's our 15-year anniversary, and we've got to be able to do something without them. So we're thinking about going to Disney Tokyo for 2026. But we desperately want to go back to Aulani. No. But do I really want to wait till 2027 to go back to Aulani? No. But then, and we also, the longest we've ever gone between Walt Disney World visits is 2 years. So if we're going to Aulani in 2027, does that mean we can't go to Walt Disney World again until 2028?
Yes, this is where it gets.
And then you want us to go on a Disney cruise too? If a Disney cruise was as affordable as a Carnival cruise, I would say, hey, we could tack that on whenever. But a Disney cruise is just as expensive as a Walt Disney World vacation, if not a little bit cheaper.
We can look into the ones that go out of San Diego, or I think if we did one, it might be one of the ones that leaves out of San Diego or leaves out of like Vancouver, first of all.
Yeah.
That's on this side of the coast, because then it would be cheaper to fly to. But yeah, there's just, I was at the airport today. I saw a Hawaiian Airlines plane, leave the gate. And I'm like, I want to go. I want to go back to Aulani so much. We loved it there. The kids still talk about that. Honestly, I think that has been their favorite vacation they've ever taken. Was Hawaii last year.
They loved it so very much. And I think it's because it was such a change of pace. We have always been a theme park family, even before YouTube. We've always been a theme park family. Walt Disney World was our primary vacation. We've gone to the zoo. We've had SeaWorld passes. We've had zoo passes. We've always been a theme park family. And to go somewhere where there wasn't a theme park in sight, and they spent an entire week
just swimming,
relaxing at the pool, they loved it. Absolutely loved it. Somebody asked if Amy had any thoughts on Disneyland Forward.
I will not really have many thoughts until I actually see it happening. Because honestly, I feel like with Disneyland, no offense, but I feel like Disney will announce all these things happening. There was supposed to be this huge mega hotel in downtown Disney, and then they scrapped the whole project.
That's because Disney started moving forward without getting approval.
Yeah, and
so that was their problem. That's their fault.
And Disney Forward has gone permission.
Yes.
So, honestly, I haven't, but because of that, I haven't done a ton of research into what's going into those areas. So, once they start announcing more of, what's coming, what lands are coming, but I want to say, I think we're getting a Frozen area, and I'm kind of mad we're getting Frozen and not Tangled, because I just saw that they put in a new Tangled ride at Tokyo.
Yeah.
And it looks absolutely amazing. I mean, no offense to Frozen, but I love Tangled way more than
I do
Frozen.
prefer Tangled to Frozen myself. The trouble with Disney, to piggyback off of what she's saying, is that Disney announces things, and then
change things.
They either change them or they take forever. Yeah. So they first announced Disneyland Forward like 3 years ago, and we're just now getting approval 3 years later. So who's to say
it's not another like 10 years?
Is this a 20-year plan? Like, am I even gonna see Disneyland Forward open when I'm a vlogger? You know what I mean? Like, at some point, am I going to be 55 years old and vlogging? Maybe. I mean, Fresh Baked is around that age and he's vlogging, but will YouTube even be a thing 20 years from now? Or will there be some new thing? I don't know. YouTube's not even 20 years old yet. Yeah. YouTube is not even 20 years old yet. So, and I'm not saying Disneyland Forward is going to take 20 years. It's probably more realistically like 10 years. But
we're not gonna like really get excited about it until we actually like see something happening. Is what we're saying. Like we'll get excited once we actually see plans and like see construction. Then it's like, oh, okay, this thing's actually happening.
Now, one thing that I thought about, and I don't think they're doing it, but they really should have. Since they're closing Critter Country, now would have been a great opportunity, and maybe they are behind the scenes, but now would have been a great opportunity for them to like start building the connectors into the expansion, because I think Critter Country is a really great point in which they could build a pathway into whatever's behind, to build in there. So I don't know. Another super chat. Thank you, Rebecca. I think you super chatted before, so thank you again. Do you plan on going to Knott's Berry Farm, doing any Knott's videos? We have done some Knott's videos, and actually, let me drop the Knott's playlist.
I've done these questions a lot.
Oh, okay. David has given me a frequently asked questions text.
Oh, you're looking up the Knott's videos. We're finding the Knott's videos for you. We went a couple years ago when James turned, like when he got to 48 inches, we went to Knott's. And now actually Benjamin is at 48 inches tall. So, we could go back to Knott's at some point. It's just not in the plans yet.
Okay, so I am dropping a Knott's Berry Farm playlist, and I probably should have said that was Knott's Berry Farm. But the link that I just dropped into YouTube chats is our Knott's Berry Farm playlist. It's only got 6 videos, and they're pretty old. They are pretty old. We do need to go back up there, and I would like to say that it would be soonish, but we're probably going to avoid the summer. So if we go back, but then again, the summer would allow us to go weekdays. So maybe we will go sometime this summer, just as a one-off. We just renewed our Legoland pass. I don't know if you were saying this when I was looking this up, but we were talking next year we might not renew our Legoland pass, and we might instead buy a Knott's Berry Farm pass, because here's the thing. James is starting to outgrow Legoland.
He still enjoys it.
The biggest ride at Legoland is Goofy's Sky School. Like, it's called the Technicoaster, but for those people who have not been to Legoland, that is the largest ride at Legoland. And so it's... Yeah, thank you for putting the fan on. I am really, really hot. Amy just disappeared to put the fan on. Don't put the oscillate on. Just point it at us. That'll be fine. No, I don't think they'll be able to hear it, or at least very much anyway. I'd love to go to Knott's again, and especially as Benjamin now is able to ride a lot of the bigger. Oh, is he going to ride everything or most everything?
But Silver Bullet.
Can you do the launch? The accelerator? No. I don't think you can do accelerator.
2 rides you can't do.
Yeah.
Now you got another super chat, and then we'll answer these questions.
Kimberly says, my husband and I love your channel. We appreciate your honest feedback. I have 2 questions. Was it difficult letting the boys fly alone? And have you ever thought about doing videos on kids ranking rides? And also thank you for the super chat that this comment came in on. Why don't you answer the first question?
I don't think they were. I mean,
No, to ask you, was it hard for you to let the kids fly alone?
At first, but then as soon as I looked into like the process of, what's required and what's not, and then like checking in today, they put tracking bracelets on the kids, so that way they wouldn't get lost. And like you're with them until you literally like get them escorted onto the plane. So,
Amy handed the kids to a stewardess.
Yeah.
The stewardess handed the kids to Amy's mom.
Yeah, so it's not like you're leaving them in the airport and hoping. The only thing I was more worried about was, okay, are they actually going to, like, get their backpacks off of the plane?
And are they going to fight the whole plane? Because they argue a lot.
My mom said Delta handed them a big bag of goodies, and I was like, oh, Delta knows how to have happy, quiet kids. Hand them a big bag of snacks.
They'll be eating it the whole flight. And then the other question is, have I ever thought about doing a video on the kids ranking the rides? That's actually a really great idea, and I am totally going to write that down. Adding it with a bunch of the other recommendations that you guys have been providing here. So the recommendations for the videos that you guys have had here, I appreciate those. I am taking note of them, and I think that is a great idea, one that we have not done. So and it's definitely doable, very easily doable.
We are going to let on, so when we go for James's birthday on July 1st, we said we are going to let him, I think, dictate that day.
Yes, so last year, if you remember, Amy had surgery, and when she was recovering from surgery, I took the kids to Disneyland to get them out of, her hair while she recovered. And on that day, we did a Kids Picked Everything Day. And they chose what we ate. They chose where we went. And some of it was like, oh no, because they picked to ride a ride that was 50 minutes when I know that if they'd have chose to ride it at like 9 a.m., it would have been a 5-minute wait. Instead, they chose to ride it at 1 in the afternoon, and I had to wait 50 minutes for it. But, it was the type of thing that, like, hey, they didn't mind. They said that they wanted to wait it, so we did. And we're definitely going to do another one of those days on James's birthday. And we'll probably do one for Benjamin's birthday as well. A kids pick everything.
Someone asked if Disney Alani is good for a 4-year-old. Yes. Like, Benjamin was... Wait, was he 4 when we went? Or was he 5?
He was 5.
He was 5. But, I believe, like, the auntie's childcare thing starts at 4 years old. And the kids love that. They loved the pool. Loved everything about Hawaii. So, yeah. 4 years old is totally fine for Alani.
So Sonia, you said you would love some kids-centered content, and I know we were talking about this earlier, but this is where I really need to enlist you guys to help me out. Do what you can. When you see videos like that, where we talk about the kids, we did a video a couple weeks ago where the kids shared their favorite foods. Now, I didn't put them on the camera sharing their favorite foods because, again, they don't necessarily always like to be on camera. Or they don't know what to say on camera. I'll try to film them saying something, and they'll say very cute and very well worded things when they're not on the camera. But I pull the camera out, and then they freeze up and they don't know what to say. So sometimes you won't always see them on it, but that doesn't mean that the content isn't, like their idea. So the kids' food video that we did a couple weeks ago, every single item in that video, the kids told me, hey, this is what I like. This is where I want to eat. This is my favorite snack. This is my favorite drink. This is my favorite meal. And we did that. And I wasn't really expecting it to necessarily do well because not everybody has kids. And it didn't do well to the point where, when we explained, it was probably like the worst of the previous 10 videos that we put out. And so when I see stuff like that, it sends to me, oh, the vast majority of our viewers aren't interested in this content. So it's hard for me to know to put out more of that content whenever we get feedback like that where people aren't watching. So if you can and you see those kids videos come out and you want to see more of them, watch those videos, comment on those videos, let me know how much you appreciate them. Yeah, make sure you hit the like button, those sorts of things. Tell other parents, other friends that you have about those videos. Hey, here's some good kids-centered content. I'm happy to do them if you guys will watch them, is the short of it.
One other super chat I love.
Super chat. Thank you, Savage Baka. Is that like Chewbacca, but Savage Baka? That's pretty cool. If there is one land you could change at Disneyland, what would it be, and what would you replace it with? Well, so going back to Disneyland Forward, I really think that closing Critter Country would have been an awesome opportunity to start Disneyland Forward and start building that into...
Is it building in that area, or is it building like...
They have to extend at some point into the parking lot for Downtown Disney.
Yeah.
And I feel like Critter Country is a great jumping point for that. And I feel like you could make Critter Country a new land. You can keep Winnie the Pooh, because I think Winnie the Pooh is a great ride, but maybe change the theme of the land into something else and expand upon that.
Yeah, the other thing, I mean, this isn't Disneyland, this is DCA, but no offense to, like, the Monsters ride. I mean, I enjoy the Monsters ride, but that whole area... You know, you could do so much more, I feel like, with, like, the Hollywood Land area.
Well, there are 2 big studios that aren't being used for anything right now.
You have that whole space, and if you took out the Monsters ride and that studio and the whole space next to that studio and where, like, the studio catering company truck is, you could fit a whole lot over there.
I know they like to use the stage, and, I mean, they use the stage a lot.
Use it a lot.
But...
You could fit so much in that space.
If you took that stage out, you really could. You could do a whole bunch of stuff with that whole land. The other thing that I would say is this. It's not to rip the land out, but Tomorrowland sorely needs a refresh. Sorely needs a refresh. Where? Tomorrowland.
Oh, yeah.
It's Yesterland. That's what it is. It's Yesterland. So Tomorrowland just needs to be updated, and the People Mover needs to come back. Bring back the People Mover.
Thank you to Spencer, Jenna, and Isla.
Yes, thank you for the super chat.
And hope you guys are having warmer weather up there in Seattle at this time of the year.
So let's answer some of these frequently asked questions that David texted me.
Way behind. Tower of Terror or Guardians of the Galaxy? Neither.
Mission Breakout.
Yeah, for him and James.
For me
and Benjamin, neither.
For me, Mission Breakout, especially after riding Tower of Terror again just like 2 weeks ago. I'm reminded that I love Mission Breakout. Let's see here. Gray Stuff versus Pog Juice. Pog Juice.
Increased security.
Okay, so the security, we haven't talked about that. I thought about putting it in our construction update video, but I wasn't really sure whether or not to bring it up. So here were my thoughts. So the new security came. If you haven't heard about it, Disney launched a more strict security process while we were at Walt Disney World. The news came out, and I heard it was a madhouse. It was nuts. It was crazy. And I was worried. Like I said, oh man, maybe I shouldn't go back to Disneyland until all the Walt Disney World content is done, just to avoid having to go through, because people were saying it was taking them like 2 hours to get into the park. Oh no, we got there and it took, we arrived at the parking garage and didn't step foot into the park till 2 hours. Security is nuts. It's crazy. And I fell into the craze, like the fear. I got there and it was nothing. And I've heard...
But we also got there early.
I know we got there early, but I've heard that even at its worst, it's 35 minutes. At its worst, it's 35 minutes. So what happens? What's going on? They have plexiglass walls there now. And you give your bag to somebody, and they take your bag and they push it to the other side of the security ball or security thing there. And then they have a plexiglass wall with one of those like little hat cups, and you put all your loose articles in the little hat cups, and the hat cup is like in a little notch in the plexiglass. And then they take it to the other side of the metal detector, and you walk through, and you collect everything on the other side. So why did they do this? Nobody knows. Disney doesn't exactly say, but there are some conjectures. And the conjecture is this, that what people were doing was they were taking things out of their bag to have bag check, and then they were...
Well, they were putting them in their pocket.
Yeah, they were putting them in the pocket, and then as soon as they got past the bag person, they were slipping those pocket items back into the backpack to walk through the scanner. So there were some items that weren't being checked. So in a sense, what this is doing is it's forcing every item to be checked. The other thing that I've heard is that they are starting to check more in depth inside bags and things, because I guess there's a TikTok trend. Everything, if you want to know the reason for everything, blame TikTok. Usually there's a TikTok about it. Apparently there's a TikTok trend that you can hide beer and alcohol and things like that in Pringles containers. And it used to be that they wouldn't check Pringles containers, and you'd be able to slip a bottle in an empty Pringles container, and they would just see it, assume it's Pringles, and they wouldn't open it. Well, now they want to look inside everything, and I mean everything. And so it slows down the security process a little bit. So the best thing that I can tell you to do is to take as few things that need to be opened as possible, and to take as little as possible inside bags. That's not always convenient, so the best thing that you can do then is to have everything out. Everything with a zippered pouch, the zippers need to be open. Everything needs to be open, and like if you have multiple bags inside a bag, pull all of those bags out, everything like that. If you have a stroller, pull everything out from under the basket because they're going to check anyway. Yeah. They're going to ask you to remove it. So those are just some tips to speed the security process up a bit. Anything else?
Someone asked about Disney Cruise too. Oh, Universal.
Epic Universe?
Yeah.
Do you have an Epic Universe thought?
I'm excited to see what they're doing. I'm more or less like, I'm curious to see like how big the place is going to be, because I mean, I enjoyed Universal, but my one complaint about Universal is everything is very crammed together, whereas like Disney will take a land and they will make it big. There's walking space in the land, at least in Disney World, because there's more, land space, whereas Universal, like when we went to, if you go to the Harry Potter areas in Universal in Orlando, they are small. Like, we walked into one of the stores, we walked in, we glanced, we walked out, because there was just no space to move around. So I'm kind of hoping that they'll actually have more space for Epic Universe. And then I'm also curious to see what type of rides they come up with, because you'll see when our vlogs come out for Universal, but we loved Islands of Adventure.
Yes.
And honestly, Universal Park itself was not really a letdown, but it was just, we didn't do as much in that park because we were getting so tired of screen.
Well, I was going to say, just what Facade Games just said.
I was about to say, it is so heavy on the screens. I was wearing like motion sickness patches, which worked great for Islands of Adventure, but by the time we got to Universal, even though I put new ones on, after like 2 rides, and maybe, I had a certain ride that set it off. Probably Jimmy Fallon set it off, because I had a headache after that ride.
I would say that if we go back, we're skipping Studios Florida, just regular Studios Florida.
Or if we go back, we'll get, like a 1-day part-to-part ticket instead of doing 2 days.
We've done that before. That way we can hit like E.T.
We can do like E.T., the Minion ride, and, maybe like one ride on Green Gods.
Because I forgot, the new Minion ride is really fun. Villain Con, that's really fun.
So we enjoyed Universal, but we honestly didn't need a whole day there just because we can't handle the screen ride so much.
Would you still do 2 days, but do a half a day at Studios Florida, and then obviously a park to park over to Islands of Adventure, and then spend a full day at Islands of Adventure the next day, or vice versa?
Well, the next time we go out, like Epic Universe.
Oh, Epic Universe will be open.
So I would do like 1 day between Islands of Adventure and regular, and then
See, I could spend a whole day at Islands of Adventure.
It was fun.
I really could spend a whole day.
Is that the next vlog to come out?
Yes, Islands of Adventure comes out on Friday.
Loved Islands of Adventure.
It comes out on Friday.
James was Mr. Daredevil that day.
So somebody, I've seen the comment pop up multiple times in the comments. Again, thank you guys for doing that. There's so many comments that they get pushed off the screen, so I can't follow them unless you comment multiple times. They said,
where is that?
They said, what's the best drinks at Oga's Cantina?
Oh.
And honestly, I'm looking at the menu right now, and it looks completely different from the last time I've been there. So I think what we're going to have to do is, Amy's actually never been.
I was about to say.
So we need to go with the kids sometime soon. Blurred Fire. I actually like the Blurred Fire. I have had the Blurred Fire, and I've had the Hyperdrive Punch It. It's just a Powerade drink.
Why is that one so much?
Because it's a souvenir.
Okay.
I don't drink alcohol. And so I don't know about any of the alcohols.
Oh, you can get it without the souvenir code.
Okay. Yeah, you can. The Grinning Loth Cat.
I just like the name.
The Grinning Loth Cat. Yeah. The Blurred Fire and the Hyperdrive Punch It are the only 2 drinks that I even recognize from the previous menu. The Cliff Dweller that I got before is no longer on here. I don't remember what type of drink it was, but it was like white.
Wasn't it a Powerade?
No, it was white.
Oh.
It was like a white, almost like
that's
coconut.
The Hyperdrive one. That's
yeah.
Powerade. Okay.
It was like a What? I'll go with you to drink the adult drinks. Yeah, David can come. Actually, though, I've only been to Oga's Cantina 3 times. One time was in our Star Wars Galaxy's Edge Trapped video. It was just me. Another time, I was going there to get the bread, the 5 blossom bread. The 5 blossom? I think it's called 5 blossom. It's really good. Oh, man. So good. And I got a drink while I was in there as well. And then the other time was with David, and he was able to get some of the alcoholic drinks for me to film. But otherwise, I don't know a whole lot about the drinks at Oga's, just that I've had the Blurred Fire and the Hyperdrive. I like both of them. And the Cliff Dweller that they used to have was good. You might still be able to get it. I feel like Disney sometimes has... especially with drinks, like, with Starbucks, they pull things off the menu all the time, and they usually still have the ingredients, so if you just ask them, they can usually still make it. I don't know if that's the case.
I want to get a loft cat just because of the name.
The grinning loft cat. Guava juice, coconut milk, lime juice, pure cane syrup topped with basil crystals. That is the grinning loft cat. So, yeah, we'll go back sometime in the next couple of weeks to Oga's and let you guys see what Amy and the kids think of some of the drinks. I'll get them like the Hyperdrive Punch It. That'll be pretty good.
Java juice.
Or a Java Juice, simply orange with pineapple, kiwi, cantaloupe, and blueberry flavor-filled boba. I don't like boba, but...
I don't think they like boba either.
Did I see correctly that Redwood Creek Challenge Trail is back on the refurb list?
What?
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me.
Is that place ever gonna open?
Disneyland events and hours.
No. Please tell me no. I want that thing open.
Finding the schedule lately has been hard on Google. I don't know why it's not popping up as much as it used to.
I'm gonna check on the app.
Yeah, go ahead. Oh, wait, here we go. I think I found it. I don't know. Google, it used to be really easy to find. Hey, I found it. So it was supposed to open on the 21st of June. And let's check.
Yeah, it's still...
Yeah, it appeared back. Oh. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, man. Let's check all the way to July 17th. Yep. What?
Oh. Does that mean it's like not reopening?
I don't know.
I'm still beginning to wonder if that thing's ever reopening.
For churros!
Yay!
Woo! Thank you, Susan.
We will get them a churro.
Oh, man.
No, that's
such a bummer.
Let the kids run around place.
Such a bummer. Why do you think Disney paused Magic Key sales? Oh, I don't know.
Who knows?
Who knows why Disney paused Magic Key sales? They're still available for renewal. Usually usually when they pause them, it means that they don't want to overrun the parks. The parks aren't. So right now the reservations are like wide open because 2 levels of annual pass holders are blocked out all summer. And so it's actually the calendar's been the widest open that I've seen it in a while, but it won't stay that way once. Actually, it'll be really hard once those pass holders start coming back in because they're already booking their reservations for August and September, which means those ones are already booking up, and we're not even into July yet with ours because we can't ever book out more than like
August
6 weeks.
Is still wide open actually.
Yeah, at the moment they are, but. Do the cast members not get paid? I see they're not get paid good. I see they're trying to unionize. I mean...
That's not all of them, though. Isn't that just, like, some of the, like, actor ones? Like, the ones for and stuff?
I don't know enough about the unionization to speak about it. What I can tell you is that Disney, just like pretty much anywhere else, they're going to try to fill most of their positions with minimum wage jobs. So California raises the minimum wage to combat that. And Disney employees make more money than, say, somebody who doesn't live in California. But that doesn't mean that they make enough money to afford living in Anaheim. Because Anaheim, especially, is way expensive. Way expensive. A lot of times what you'll see... A lot of employees, especially the front of the park facing employees, they're retirees. and so they don't necessarily need the money as much as the younger folk. They have paid off houses, and they have their 401ks, and they have their what's the Social Security, and they work minimum wage enough to satisfy the Social Security requirements to keep them busy and that sort of thing. A lot of the people who are scanning you into the park, some of the people who are in the retail are like that, but a lot of the younger ones, which usually operate the attractions, those ones are, I mean, I don't know enough about it. Maybe if there's some cast members watching here, they're probably mostly minimum wage positions, I would imagine, and they're going to have a really hard time living in Anaheim. They'll often have like co-op housing where they live in a house with 4 bedrooms, and it's 4 different people that are paying rent. I mean, that's the only way that they can get by in a place like Anaheim a lot of times, or they're still living at home. The housing situation in California is not good. We were fortunate enough to get a house a couple of years ago, right before COVID, and all the crazy like interest rates spiked and everything. It's a small house. We would love to get a larger place. We only intended to stay in this house for 5 years. It was supposed to just be kind of like a launching point for us. And we just can't afford, we can't afford to get a larger house. I even looked into like, oh, would it be a good idea to sell the house while the market is high and then go rent for a year or two to wait for, maybe the market will come back down and then we can afford to buy at that point. And renting a 2-bedroom place. We have a 2-bedroom house. Renting a 2-bedroom apartment, the rent is double what I pay for mortgage. I mean, I kid you not. It's double for rent, and so it's not even a good renting situation. It's not even a good renting situation. California's housing is crazy, so that's the biggest problem, honestly, when it comes to wages in California and cost of living. Really, really expensive. California's probably one of the most expensive places to live. If you ever come to SLO County, what's SLO County? San Luis Obispo? San Luis Obispo. Yeah. Take the kids to Madonna Inn. Hopefully, we can meet you at Disney one day. Thank you for the super chat, Cassandra. Much appreciated.
And I've heard of Madonna Inn. It's like got different themed rooms, I believe.
Oh, really?
And stuff. Yeah, like it's very popular. We just don't make it up that way very often. I'm hoping that like maybe by next year that Highway 1 will reopen again, and hopefully no more landslides.
Yeah.
To, wash out highway parts. Because we would love to take the kids back up to Monterey again. And actually next summer, I really want to take the kids up to San Francisco because they were supposed to do a 4th grade, well, James, like a 4th grade.
Mia's eating the box.
Yeah, I'll get her in a sec. A 4th grade, like, Sacramento, San Francisco trip for 4th grade.
Oh, and Brownie's coming.
They've canceled it for them for next year due to cost at their school. So I actually want to try to take them myself up to San Francisco. So maybe, hopefully, if, like, we can work that out next year to go out there, we can stop, there on the way back.
Bumble Brad asks, what's the best dining places that we recommend for their partner and them first time at Disneyland? So,
what did they ask? Dining?
Yeah, dining recommendations. Mia likes cardboard, and Mia is eating a cardboard box. And then Brownie heard Mia eating the cardboard box, and I heard Brownie jump off of the bed upstairs, and she's probably, about to appear. So both of our cats have now appeared. Food recommendations, though. So there are 4 sit-down locations if you want a sit-down meal at Disneyland. You've got Carnation Cafe, Carnation Cafe, Riverbell Terrace, Blue Bayou, and, why am I blanking on the last one? Cafe Orleans. Cafe Orleans has a really good Monte Cristo. It's their signature item. I just had it for the first time like a couple months ago.
And it comes with pommes frites.
It's, what is the Monte Cristo? It is a ham and cheese sandwich basically smashed between French toast.
It's like a ham and cheese sandwich that's dipped in like beignet batter in a sense and fried.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like French toast. It tastes like French toast.
Yeah, because it's like sweet with powdered sugar on top. And then it comes with like a raspberry or strawberry jam also to like dip it in.
It was very good. And the pommes frites
Pomfrites,
I think it's frites.
whatever.
Those are very good from there. Carnation Cafe has amazing Mickey waffles. Breakfast, oh man, Mickey waffles. One of the best ways to start the morning. Now, I don't necessarily recommend it unless you have a couple of days at Disney, because I think you lose a lot of morning time unless you want to go there for a late breakfast at like 10. That would be like a brunch situation. I think that would be good. But we went there at 8 a.m. the other day, and we lost like a half an hour or 45 minutes of rope drop doing that. It was fine for us. We go all the time. But for first-timers, hang on. Still answering the food question. For quick service restaurants, Docking Bay 7 and Star Wars Galaxy's Edge is one of my favorites, as is Jolly... Ronto Roasters and Jolly Holiday. Those are some of my favorites at Disneyland for first-timers, for sure. What were you about to say?
Sky asked about the motion sickness patches. It's hard to say. I mean, I felt like they did help a little bit because you'll see in tomorrow's vlog if you watch, or not tomorrow's vlog, Friday's vlog, Islands of Adventure. The last time we were out there, I rode the Spider-Man ride and it gave me a headache, and this time it didn't. However, when we went to Universal and we were on like the full-on screen rides, I don't think it did enough. However, I just got ones that had like natural oils in it. I didn't get the kind with bonine, and apparently that's supposed to work better without making you drowsy. So I'll have to keep trying different patches. Like if we go up to Universal here, I'll maybe get a different type and try that and see what works well. But it definitely helped. Did it help enough? Hard to say, because like I said, in the Universal day, I still kind of came away with a headache half of that day. But it was also very hot that day.
Highlighting a couple of comments. Kay says that I'm assuming it's a she, maybe it's a he, I don't know, saw us at the San Diego Zoo Safari Park back in July. And, he, I think it might be a he, because I think I'm remembering this person. Made the birthday extra special. I do remember that. I do remember meeting you. So thank you for joining the live stream and saying hello, and so glad that we were able to make your trip an enjoyable one.
Probably have another birthday coming up soon, so.
Or you know what? No, I think I'm not actually thinking. Maybe I'm thinking of someone at the San Diego Zoo for the he. Maybe this. I don't know. I'm not sure if you're a he or a she. I don't know if you could tell me that in the comments. A she. Okay. Okay. I actually, yes. I think I'm remembering that one as well. So the other person we met was at the zoo, but I am remembering you as well. So glad that we're able to make your trip. John asked about Catalina Island for our 15th.
No, I know I shouldn't have put hair tie there.
Cat loves hair ties.
Get down.
She was going for it. You can't see it. It was off camera. So Catalina is honestly close enough that Catalina is something that we could just do like a weekend away. It was even something that we, like threw around as like a quick weekend for a little getaway. But yeah, Amy hates the boat. That's the thing. She hates the boat, so I don't know.
I like it once I'm out there, but I don't like getting out there.
Rick asked if we did the Bengal barbecue garlic pretzel hack. You just reminded me, Rick.
You did, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I did do it. It's a really good hack. But you just reminded me, Rick, that one of my video ideas is putting together a whole list of food hacks for Disneyland.
We don't have enough yet, though.
I think we could come up with enough. I think
if you have any, think we should try a hack. Let us know.
If there's any hacks you think we should try, not necessarily in this chat, because the comments are going by so fast, I won't see them. But if you leave comments in regular videos, I will. Oh, they want to see Brownie. Can you go get Brownie?
Wait, they said besides.
Can you show us your other cat?
They want Mia.
Oh, you want the other?
She's harder to get.
Yeah, Mia is harder to get. You've seen the tortie. That's Brownie. So here's.
But now here's the one who hates being held.
She does hate being held, so I'm not sure how this is going to go. This is Mia. She's a tabby.
Yep.
There she goes. Down. There she goes. That didn't last long. Where was I? Oh yes. Food hacks. If you have food hacks feel free to drop them in comments of regular videos. I do read every comment. I don't always respond to them now. We have so many comments that come in. It's hard to respond to every single one of them. I do read them, and if you ask a question, I will reply. If you asked a question and I did not reply, it's because so many comments came in that I happened to miss yours. So just ask on a different video. The same thing with here. But I do try to answer questions.
I try to say, and for members, like Rick, we usually pretty much always respond to members' questions.
Yeah, so
we don't have a separate email.
The memberships, here is, the memberships are something that I'm still trying to figure out and go on. I know a lot of people have like a Patreon and they're really, really good about it. I kind of leave like our member section as like if you want to provide, you know, like a tip, sort of a situation, and what we do is we accumulate those and then we'll use them to pay for something that we otherwise wouldn't have paid for. Because when we go to Disney, we do try to do things as affordable and as cheaply as possible, because we have to drive up there and then the food and all of that. I mean, sometimes it costs us like $200 just for a day at Disney. And as often as we go to Disney, that obviously adds up and those expenses add up. So we try to save money where we can. And so what that often means is we don't do a lot of experience. Well, for instance, someone keeps asking me, I've been asked a couple of times about Goofy's Kitchen. Goofy's Kitchen for us would cost us a minimum like around $200 for our family of 4 to go do it. And for one meal, $200 is something that we're just not going to go and drop and do. However, I've been thinking about doing this for the next like member thing, that you guys have been providing monthly donations, and so we'll take those donations, and I say that we're going to funnel them all back into the channel. It's not something that we pocket per se, but we used it to go to Star Wars night, and we used it to do, I think, the droid experience. And so I think we'd like to use the next member's donation to like go to Goofy's Kitchen. And I don't necessarily treat the members channel like most people do a Patreon, where they have like members exclusive videos or members exclusive like merchandise and things that they do, because I don't have a lot of bandwidth for other things. I have a hard enough time remembering that Instagram exists.
Yeah, I'm supposed to be running
and
that.
So
that's my fault.
I'm really, really bad at anything other than YouTube.
If you have specific questions that you want us to answer, message us on Instagram.
But yes, what I try to do is I try to make sure that I absolutely answer every question from a member. If you are a member on the channel, I may not always see it right away, but there is a section on my dashboard where I can go to see all the comments by members, and it filters out everybody else's comments, and it just shows me members on all the last couple of videos. So I do look at that about once a week to make sure I haven't missed any, and then I'm making sure that I'm specifically answering all the member specific comments that come on the channel, and then I do try to make sure that I thank you guys publicly on the videos that are specifically what I would call member sponsored. I don't mention it a whole lot because I don't want it to sound like we're asking for members all the time, like, oh, give us money. No, that's not the way that we want to come across. We never want to come across that way. We're doing fine. YouTube is paying us just fine. But if you guys like to provide extra tips because it's just a way to say thank you, we appreciate that very much. All the super chats that have come in today, we appreciate that very, very much. And the member donations, we appreciate those as well. That's just a little bit on the member sort of things. But if you guys have recommendations and ideas, what I need to do, I need to make a community post, again, specifically for members, because I want to get your guys' feedback on upcoming content and video ideas. I do value your video suggestions. So that's definitely... Oh, and as far as email, Rick, that was your original question. SoCalDisneyDad@gmail.com. It is on my YouTube channel if you forget that. You can actually just go to my YouTube channel and go to the About section, and there is an email thing right there, and you can use that.
As I said, you can use the email, or if you do have questions, you can also send them to us on Instagram. I try to respond to those because we have had people like with more specific planning questions ask us questions on Instagram.
Looking through just the comments that I can see right now, the only question that I can see, there's a bunch of comments, but the only questions I can see are just asking for our opinion between Disney Cruise and Disney Tokyo. Having not been to either one, I'm not sure that we can answer that. I will tell you that Disney Tokyo is a higher priority for us than going on a Disney Cruise, but that's primarily because Amy isn't the biggest boat person.
I don't like boats.
But I've heard that cruises are big enough boats that you don't really notice the rocking as much.
Yeah, well, they also say that about the bigger airplanes, that you don't notice turbulence as much, and I still notice it, so. You know?
Yeah, you know. Famous Disney movies I haven't seen. Okay, you guys are all gonna start bashing on me in the comments.
What,
Princess and the Frog. I still haven't watched it.
I even watched it myself on the airplane going to Orlando, but I'll watch it again with you. Do we need to watch that tomorrow night for a date night?
I have to watch it before Tiana's. I have to.
So I've heard the ride has nothing to do with the movie. Like, I mean, the characters obviously, but I've heard like they don't follow any of the movie plot.
Yeah. I don't know. I still haven't watched it though. Yeah. I'll tell you why. You want to know why I haven't watched it? And this is just a pet peeve of mine. It's a tick, if you will. I don't like two things in terms of theming. I don't like westerns. So sorry, Knott's Berry Farm Western Ghost Town people. I don't like westerns. And I don't like New Orleans sort of vibes. I don't know why. I don't. I like New Orleans food. Love New Orleans food. I love Cajun. I love spice. But I don't know. There's something about the like sort of old timey French vibe I don't like. What my favorite theming? Okay, my favorite theming is like Aulani, Hawaiian, Polynesian. Oh, I love Polynesian themes. And then I also love like African safari type themes. Love African safari themes and Polynesian themes. Those are my two favorite like vibes. So like the hotels that I want to go to the most at Walt Disney World, if we can ever afford them, are the Poly and Animal Kingdom Lodge.
And the Riviera.
Oh, the Riviera is nice, but that's French. But yes. I don't mind that. It's like a polished, more modern French.
Granted, we want to
as opposed to the
French.
Riviera, so I love African and Polynesian. For some reason, I don't like westerns or New Orleans.
Yeah, don't hate us. You're suddenly gonna lose like 30 subscribers because you said you hate westerns.
I hate westerns. So yeah.
You have to admit, Ghost Rider is an amazing ride at Knott's Berry Farm.
Here's an example, okay, of the New Orleans thing in practicality. I love NCIS, right? I love NCIS. I love NCIS Hawaii. Oh man, the Hawaii version. I'm so mad they canceled it. It was my favorite Hawaii. NCIS New Orleans, my least favorite NCIS. I watched it, but I don't know. I just wasn't into it because of the vibe. But anyhow.
We're not heading back to Aulani anytime soon. We're sad about that. We want to go back.
Yeah, I would like to go back. If YouTube picks up significantly and we can afford a second trip next year, we will go to Aulani like November.
Thanksgiving break. Yeah, or something.
November, December time next year, maybe. We'll see. Here's kind of where, not to get back onto the subscriber thing, but a couple of you have commented about that we've reached 36,000 subscribers and that, Diana, I think it's Diana or Diane, has been posting, asking people to subscribe. I didn't tell her to do that. I appreciate that she's asking people to subscribe to help us get to 50,000. And I'm actually thinking about starting in July, once we reach the latter half of the year, doing a big drive to try to reach 50,000 by the end of the year. Right now, we're on track to reach 48,000 by the end of the year. But it really would be awesome to hit 50,000 by the end of the year. We were at 24,000 at the end of last year. So that means we will have doubled over this year from 24 to 50. And the previous year we were at 6,000. So we went from 6 to 24, which quadrupled. and then we doubled this time. So I don't know if we would necessarily go from 50 to 100 by next year, but it's always possible. But as the subscribership grows, the viewership grows, and you know, I'm not saying we're going to turn into Ordinary Adventures anytime soon, and every single video is like 100,000 views. But you know, as we get more viewers, the videos get more views, and those views then help us be able to fund more things on the channel. But right now, like I said, we can only afford one trip a year. So we just hope that things grow, and maybe we'll get to go on that Disney cruise or, you know, something like that.
What's our favorite hotel?
Thinking about giveaways. Sonia asked about giveaways. Yes, I would like to do giveaways again. That was a fun thing to do. I gave away the Pixar Fest mug, and I think I would like to do some specific merchandise like that that's is focused on a particular theme that's not always there. That way, if you can't make it, you can still have a chance to get a merchandise that you wouldn't otherwise have a chance to get. I'd like to do another one again. I think we'll look at doing one here soon.
Kelsey asked about Legoland. Best stages for Legoland. So it's definitely like a kids park. However, if you are under 4, there's gonna be a few rides you can't do. Like there's
the Technic coaster,
like Technic coaster, even the Royal Joust.
Even if your child is the minimum height requirement of 42 inches, and they're 3, which Benjamin was, they won't let them ride the coaster until they also turn 4. They have to be both 42 inches and 4 years of age. But we took our kids to Legoland for the very first time when they were 6 and 3. We didn't go any earlier than that because of those height requirement issues. But now at 9 and 6, 3 years later, James is starting to age out of it. Now, I will say this, that it's only because we go so often that James is starting to age out. Amy went to Legoland when she was 12 and still had a really good time.
So if you're going for, you know, a one-off. And I think with James, the hard part with him is that, unlike me as a kid, he is a daredevil.
Yeah. Well, he rode Velocicoaster.
Yeah, he rode Velocicoaster 3 times at Islands of Adventure. Where when I was his age, I wouldn't have dared go on anything like that. Like, I was the type where it was like, okay, put me on a tiny, you know, the Dragon at Legoland. And that was like the biggest coaster I would dare to do. So for James, I think it's just the fact that there's no big rides. The one thing the kids love, though, with Legoland at 9 and 6 is that once you turn 6, you can ride most of the rides like by yourself. You don't have to ride with a parent. So the other day when we were at Legoland, I put the kids like in the row in front of me, or I just sent them on a ride while I waited at the exit to watch them.
Brian across America says, I have many fellow Louisiana friends and will overlook your feelings about New Orleans and try to get 1,000 more subscribers. It's nothing against New Orleans itself. I actually really love New Orleans. I love New Orleans. I love Baton Rouge. My aunt and my uncle lived in Baton Rouge for like a decade, and we would go visit them, and they'd take us to New Orleans and things like that. And like I said, I love New Orleans food. I just don't know what it is about the atmosphere that I don't like watching media portrayed around, like the bayous and New Orleans and that sort of thing. I don't know.
No
I don't know.
offense to Louisiana, though, but every time we've driven through Louisiana, we've had
maybe
a bad
that's
experience.
it. Maybe it's underlying trauma. It's trauma.
We have gone stuck on a bridge. We have gone detoured where it took us like 8 hours to drive like 2 miles. We have had a tornado warning while staying in a really, really small house, wondering if we were going to get wiped out by a tornado in the middle of the night.
I honestly think it's the way that the media portrays it more than the actual physically being there, because we have done a lot of things in that area before. In fact, one of the most memorable experiences I ever did was going out on like a swamp tour, and they were feeding an alligator with a hot dog like right outside the boat, and the alligator would like lunge out to eat, and oh wow, these things were huge, and they're right next to your boat, and it was amazing. And and I love doing stuff there. It's just the way, you know how anytime you watch anything about Mexico, like it's an NCIS episode, and they go to Mexico, and they put this like yellow tint over it to make it feel, even though it was filmed in LA, you know, it's, oh, suddenly it's being filmed in Mexico because this yellow tint. There are, if you actually look and study, there are different color tints that media will use for different locations, whether you are in France or whether you are in Mexico or you are wherever. And I don't know, there's something about the way that the media does New Orleans type things that I just don't like. I don't like TV shows or movies about New Orleans. I'm spending way too much time on this. Spending way too much time on it.
Questions.
Did I do Tiana's ride at Walt Disney World? No.
It's not. It's only people who can ride right now are cast members. So they haven't even done a media thing.
Well, they weren't even doing previews when we were there.
Yeah, though, a few of the vloggers have ridden it, but that's because they have, like, cast member friends.
Yes.
Because I know that Nate rode it the other day.
If you have cast member friends, they can get you into cast member previews.
But we did not get to ride it. And when we went, they hadn't even started cast member previews yet. So, like, we missed it completely.
Yeah. Oh, looking here. If you can put any ride that's not on Genie Plus at Disneyland, I'm confused.
I think they are saying,
if there's a ride that's not on Genie Plus, if I could put it on Genie Plus, which one would I choose? I wouldn't.
I wouldn't, yeah.
That's local. That's us locals talking. So us locals can't afford Genie Plus every single time we visit. So we don't buy Genie Plus, and any ride with Genie Plus instantly makes the ride waits that much longer. Rides that used to be at a 15 to 20 minute wait now have 30 to 40 minute waits, and it's like, why would you ruin a 15-minute standby wait by adding Genie Plus? You know, there was no reason to add Genie Plus. But the reason why they add Genie Plus to rides is because they want to make sure that you're getting your money's worth, especially as the cost of Genie Plus goes up. Like, there weren't enough Genie Plus rides at DCA, so they added Little Mermaid. Little Mermaid did not need Genie Plus. It did not. Cast members said it did not. We said it did not. But there were just not enough offerings in DCA, so they had to add something. Pirates does not need Genie Plus, but with Haunted Mansion down, they added it.
And I'm hoping they take it back off.
Yeah, I'm hoping when Haunted Mansion reopens that they take it back off. Also, once Splash Mountain reopens, that one will be on Tiana's. That one will be on Genie Plus. So I wouldn't add any existing rides to Genie Plus. No, sorry, one exception. I actually can answer this. Peter Pan.
Oh, yes.
Because I never ride it.
Yeah.
Because the line is too long, and if it had Genie Plus, I would ride it. The problem is the line is already too long, and adding Genie Plus will only make the standby worse, and they don't have the space for it. They do not have the physical space to expand that queue, and so they will never add it to Genie Plus. But if there's one that needs it, because I actually get to ride Peter Pan at Walt Disney World.
We rode it twice.
We did ride it twice at Walt Disney World. Oh, spoiler alert for the next Magic Kingdom Day.
Sorry. Someone asked something about, like, what I put in my bag.
Oh yes, I did see that before.
Where'd the comment go?
You can answer that. I'm gonna take a quick break.
Bathroom break.
Yes.
Where is it though? I'm trying to find.
You don't have to look at the comment. You just know they asked, "What do you put in your bag?" The essentials for when we go.
So I usually, well, it depends. For Disneyland, I will have a little bit more things just because we're up there for the day and I need my wallet to drive back home to have my driver's license. So when I go to Disneyland, I usually have my wallet, sunglasses, chapstick, wet wipe. I've actually started carrying wet wipes around more. Found that's easier just with the kids. My fuel rod. So Trevor will use an actual, like, bigger brick that charges his phone faster because he's filming. I don't usually need as much power, and I want something that's lighter. So I actually invested in one of the fuel rods at Disneyland because I can get free swaps there. So I will use the fuel rod there, and then anytime I'm up at Disneyland, I just, I'll use it throughout the day, and then right before we leave, I'll swap it out for a free one. So that's in there. My sunglasses, snacks for the kids. If we're going for a full day, the kids will also usually have their own little fanny pack with their own snacks. So I'll have a couple extra. They'll have some. That's about it. At Disney World, because we were trying to, by the end of the week, minimize our time, like, going through security, and because you don't need to carry
I'm glad you're bringing
your
this up, 'cause
wallet
I was
with
gonna
you,
bring that up.
at Disney World, I left all of that in the hotel room. I actually got to the point where at the end of the week at Disney World, I had my phone in one pocket, I had wet wipes in the other pocket, and that's my sunglasses on my head, and
Here, I'll pull
that's
this up, boy.
literally all I took into the park, at least in the afternoons in Disney World. In the morning, I think I may have taken my bag in. But Disney World's hit or miss with that, because the last few days we were there, we knew it wasn't going to rain, so we didn't have to take the umbrella.
But before you elaborate on that, I want to remind you guys, a couple of months ago, I had a list of things that I wish Disneyland would change, and one of those things was the security. I wish Disneyland would add Walt Disney World security. After going through Walt Disney World security again, I want to slightly amend that. I like the fact that you can keep walking with bags, but we found that they were getting really finicky, and that's why we just moved to not even taking bags. It discouraged us from taking bags, and maybe that's kind of their point. But what I mean is, like, everything was setting it off. I even walked through. I didn't have anything in my bag. Nothing in my bag. All I had was a single metal straw. That was it. It should not have been large enough to set off the detector. And the guy flagged me and sent me over. And I was like, why? There's nothing in my bag. It's literally empty except for this one metal straw. And so it got to the point where I was like, you know what? I'm not even gonna bother taking a bag.
The hard part, though, with Disney World is the weather is so unpredictable there. You have to know it's not going to rain.
Yeah.
Because the first
You need
half
an umbrella
of our
half the
trip, we
time.
had to have an umbrella. Because on our Hollywood Studios day, I mean, if you watch that vlog, we got caught in big, massive rainstorm.
Yeah.
Which, was fine. Well, I stayed dry. The rest of you.
The reason why I didn't want to take anything in with me to Walt Disney World was the bag check at Walt Disney World is so more thorough than Disneyland if they flag you. It was taking them like 3 or 4 minutes per person.
Take, like, everything out, and they also wand you like a TSA.
Oh yeah, they wand you too. Yeah, on top of.
And then one lady, like, not only did she wand me, but she made me, like, undo my belt and, like, take it off to, like, because my belt was setting it off. So after that day, I didn't even wear a belt, like, anymore. It was very, like.
I don't know that. I know that they do bag check at Disneyland, but I just felt like when you got flagged at Disney World, the check was even more invasive than Disneyland, to the point where it slowed down so bad.
Honestly, our best security things was Universal, because they just X-ray your bags.
Like, oh yeah, that was awesome.
And then you go through a metal detector.
They have a conveyor belt where you put your whole bag on the conveyor, and they just they X-ray your bag.
I would rather Disneyland adopt that system.
That was so much better
than the other system.
I would agree. Keep the standard metal detectors, but X-ray your bags so you don't actually have to, like, check them.
Yeah.
Unless, obviously they see something alarming, but.
Because that was probably the smoothest out of all of it.
Thoughts on the Disneyland Hotel? We've only stayed at Pixar Place. Yeah. Here are my thoughts on the Disneyland Hotel. Okay, because these are my exact thoughts on the Disneyland Hotel. Oh, look, it's so awesome. Oh, they have such a beautiful pool. We should stay here. Go on the laptop, research. It costs how much? Oh, I could stay off property for half the cost. Okay, we're not going to the Disneyland Hotel. Yeah. That is literally, like, this is exactly how much I do every single time. I can't ever justify the cost of going to the Disneyland Hotel because I could spend that money somewhere else.
Now, if you're coming out here for, like, a once every, few year trip, or even once a year trip, it's your vacation. Yeah. For us, like, our vacation is Disney World, so we stay on property out there.
But we still stay affordable.
Yeah, we still stay
like, a Pop Century is $180 a night. I mean,
It's cheaper
180 a
that's
night?
cheaper than out here.
There's not even a good neighbor hotel that affordable at Disneyland. At least, unless you like want to stay, you stay at a Super 8 or something. I'm sure that is, but most of the good neighbor hotels. I mean, Anaheim Hotel. I think the Anaheim Hotel might be in the 180.
So that's
range.
the hard part with Disneyland Hotel and why we haven't stayed there. But like as a whole hotel to walk around, like it's beautiful. Like
Yeah.
you know, like my favorite to walk around is the Grand Californian. Like they are very nice hotels. They are like some, you know, if early entry is worth it to you, but honestly, like getting there at rope drop time, the nice thing with Disneyland is like rope drop is not packed. We noticed that about Disney World is that because there are so many on-site guests at Disney World, early entry is just as packed as like the whole first couple hours the park is open. It's crazy. Yeah. Whereas Disneyland, like the first hour the park's open, it's still gloriously not busy.
Yeah. I've said it a couple of times. Actually, on that same video, we talked about security. I wish Disneyland would bring a value hotel to the Disneyland property. If they could bring a Art of Animation, Pop Century, or All-Star style hotel that is that motel sort of feel that tones down some of the like, you know, the perk levels. You know, it doesn't have to all be a 10-story tower with amazing views and, you know, gorgeously expensive restaurants. You know, I could deal with just a standard motel hotel. In fact, I would, you know, if Disney bought out the Anaheim Hotel and just converted that into a value resort, leaving the existing structure as it is, you know, I would be perfectly happy to stay on property at Disneyland if they would bring a value resort. Right now, everything is deluxe. Even Pixar Place would be considered deluxe by Walt Disney World standards. But you can get somewhat, I think you could probably get like a $400 a night room at Pixar Place, maybe. And that's like an expensive Caribbean beach room because Caribbean's in the like $320 to $325 range for their standard rooms. But yeah, I wish Disney would bring a value. But they probably don't just because of the Good Neighbor hotels. I bet you they have some sort of agreement with the city of Anaheim not to put in anything like below a deluxe hotel, simply because of the Good Neighbor hotels. Aulani, Sonia's asking about Aulani. Aulani's pricey. Aulani is $800 standard, $700 to $800. But with the, like, if you go on a discount time, you can get it down in the $600 range. If well, that was for an Ocean View. Mind you, we splurged for an Ocean View because I said if I'm going all the way to Hawaii to go to Aulani, I don't want a view of the parking lot. I'm sure there are cheaper rooms. I didn't really look at them, but for the Ocean View rooms, $800 was standard, and it was $600 after the 25% Disney Visa card holder discount that we got when we went. So the room that we stayed at Pixar Place was $550. The theme park view room that we did at Pixar Place back in February was $550. So pretty comparable. The theme park view at Pixar Place now, was that with a discount? I don't remember if they had a discount. It might have been with a Magic Key discount. I don't remember.
I don't know if they got a discount.
I don't think we got a discount when we stayed at Pixar Place.
It was so new.
But best burger at Disney World. Couldn't tell you. I never eat burgers at Disney World. A deluxe burger. That's the only burger I've eaten at Disney World. Deluxe burger.
If the one at Sanaa is good, because honestly, any food at Sanaa was good.
Sanaa,
and they have
Sanaa. Yeah, Sanaa's video was today. If you didn't see today's video yet, go watch that. Love it. Rick is asking about my camera setup. Let's see.
Can't show it.
I sort of can. I sort of can.
Yeah, showing the ceiling.
No.
Oh.
This is my camera setup. It is a Manfrotto tripod with a Manfrotto phone clamp, and my phone just goes here, and this is literally all I use. It's all I vlog with. It's in that right now, propped up on a desk, pointing at us here, a little table. And I looked into getting a microphone. I tried a couple of different microphones. I even had a company send me microphones. And it worked great. The microphone worked great when it was just me, but you're supposed to be able to link two to a single one so that like Amy could talk into it while we're doing, say, like a merch video, or if we go to do a food review, Amy could wear one, I can wear one, and then we can basically avoid the ambient, loud noise of a restaurant. And what happened was, I'm not sure that they would probably appreciate me saying this because I wasn't going to review it or negatively review it. But the problem was that one of them was taking over and the other one was cutting out. And they told me it wasn't supposed to do that. And they said, "Would you want us to send you another one?" And it's like, they're $250. Do you want to send me another one? Are you that convinced that that's the problem? I don't know. Whatever the case may be, we decided not to use microphones. The only time it's a problem is with wind. And Disneyland doesn't get windy all that often. It does happen. But we encounter wind a lot more at Disney World, I feel like, than we did at Disneyland. Not a whole lot of...
But that even depends on the day.
No, I know.
I wish we had it the last couple days we were on there.
You'll hear Disneyland cancel fireworks for wind, but oftentimes what that means is the wind is
up
high. It could be perfectly calm down at street level, and they cancel fireworks for due to high wind. But it's all, like I said, all above the park, and the reason for that is the fireworks are shot off in so close proximity to like the 5 freeway and hotels and the park that if the debris blows, it's gonna land.
Because we were talking about like there was a lot of wind like
at Disney World.
up in the sky at Disney World when we were watching the fireworks. It was like boom, firework, all like it was moving very quickly. But they have
so much space.
I don't know if they actually ever canceled them out there.
Well, that's because they don't have to worry about where the debris falls. There's no other things to fall on.
KLO reminded said Brown Derby and Steakhouse 71. You had the burger at Steakhouse 71 last time, didn't you?
Oh yes.
I forgot about that.
That burger is good. I did have a burger. It was last year, 2 years ago. 2 years ago. Steakhouse 71 has a good burger as well. So yeah, I did forget about that burger.
Oh, can you link to our vegan food? Simply Disney asked about.
I need to redo it. I honestly need to redo it.
We do need to redo it, but we do have a vegan food video.
It's a year old. I'm not sure how much of this food is still here, but vegan video. I need to redo it though. And also, I put that video out at the very beginning of when we started to get Disney viewers, and it never hit, like it didn't hit search, and it never got like the ball rolling snowball, if you will. So it's very small amount of views compared to a lot of our videos.
So we'll have to redo
so I need to redo it now that there's many more of you watching, and you might find it interesting. We love vegan food. I actually had somebody comment on one of my videos that it was the one where we were bashing the hot dog at Award Wieners, the plant-based, the best hot dog video. The plant-based hot dog at Award Wieners was awful. Absolutely awful. Probably the worst item that I've ever eaten at Disneyland. And I said that on camera, and the person said, "You guys are really harsh on vegan food." And I said, "I don't feel like we are. We actually
every other vegan item we've tried, I think we've liked."
Yeah, we love a lot of the vegan options.
The only other vegan item that I didn't like at Disneyland was in Toontown. It was like the veggie
the wrap. Yeah, the veggie wrap's no good.
But
the Felucian kefta at Docking Bay is vegan. Amazing.
Apparently, they're getting that at Disney World finally.
The Dole Whip is vegan. Dole Whip will always be amazing.
Yeah. The falafel.
Oh, the Impossible falafel.
Yeah.
At
the Shawarma Palace.
At Shawarma Palace is really good. I like that.
The Impossible Spoonful.
Oh, any of the Impossible things are really good. There was even a breakfast item. Okay, so this is one thing that I found. I don't like egg, generally speaking. I don't mind if it's...
He likes fake eggs.
I don't mind if it's mixed with cheese and a whole bunch of other things, but I generally don't like egg. But yes, it's not impossible. I don't know what it is. The substitute egg, whatever they use in vegan dishes, I like that.
He likes fake eggs.
I like vegan eggs. I like vegan eggs. I do.
The Ronto-less wrap.
Ooh, the Ronto-less wrap is very good. That's I don't know if it's Impossible meat, but whatever meat. I think it might be just like a veggie meat.
Isn't it?
There's meat.
Isn't it chickpeas or something?
I don't know what it is, but there's a meat substitute in there. And whatever meat substitute is in the Ronto-less wrap, that's amazing. That is very good.
Breakfast. Rontolas. Oh, plant-based sausage. Never mind.
Plant-based sausage. Yes, very good. I think another one that I gave a not negative review to, but there's a bean burger at Red Rose Tavern, and the bean burger itself, the black bean burger, it didn't taste bad. I just noticed that because it wasn't a like formed burger patty, it was just essentially smashed black beans making up the burger. When I bit into it, it just smushed all over the place. So it was very messy. It wasn't that the item was bad, it was just messy. Thank you, Delise, from Melbourne. Melbourne. Love your videos. Gonna be at Disneyland July 1st through the 5th.
Oh, look for us on the 1st.
Will we be there? Yes, we will be there July 1st. That is James's birthday, so we will absolutely be there. What is the best location for fireworks? So everyone says Main Street because they put projections on either side of, on all the buildings. All the shops have projections. You can see the projections on the castle. And so at Disneyland, I would probably agree with that. A hack that I like to do if you want to see Fantasmic is see the first showing of Fantasmic and then stay where you are for fireworks there, because the projections that are on the castle will actually be on, like there's a water display on the lake there for Fantasmic, and you're able to see the projections and the fireworks, and you have your position from Fantasmic. In fact, if you don't do the Fantasmic dining package, what you can do is you can, once the Fantasmic is over, about half of the people will stay to watch the fireworks, but half will leave. And of the half that leave, you can move into the dining package viewing area to get a better spot.
You just won't see the fireworks like right behind the castle, which kind of takes away from some of them. Yeah. Because some of them kind of rely like on the castle.
Well, yeah, because the fireworks are like offset.
I think right now, is it still the Pixar one? And like right now,
yes.
I heard they have like the up house like.
Oh yeah, the up house flies in the sky.
And you won't be able to see that from there. So the only hard part, and here's the gamble with fireworks, and we had this problem when we went at Christmas last year, is we waited like an hour and a half for the fireworks on Main Street, and then they got canceled. So, which is why if like we tell people if they only have time for one nighttime entertainment show, to go to World of Color, because it's guaranteed.
I was just reading Rick's comment. Thank you for the super chat, by the way, Rick. Do you have a huge Disney merch collection? And you should do a video on your favorite Disney items and items you regret. And then he says, I'm not sure if this is a comment on his own or if this is just like an example comment. But he's like, I regret this stupid popcorn bucket. I don't get the popcorn bucket craze. Can you go, since you have easier access, I'm under the table, you're not under the table.
The Skyliner bucket?
No. Can you go get what we just bought? It's not Disney merch from Disneyland, but it's still Disney merch. The rug that we just bought.
Oh, you want me to go pull
yes,
that
pull it in. Pull it in.
Why don't we just get the Easter one, since that's more accessible?
No, just the one from outside is easier. We just got a doormat. It is absolutely...
I'm feeding them.
Oh, the cats think you're feeding them? It is past dinner time for the cats, but they can survive another 20 minutes. We'll end this at 9 o'clock. We'll just say, because it's going for 3 hours, we'll just say we'll end this at 9 o'clock. Since the fact that 200 of you have been watching pretty consistently for the last 2.5 hours is pretty amazing. We'll do another one of these. We'll do another one soon. I won't let 7 months go by. But this is our whatever you call it. Shoe mat thing. Doormat. Yeah, there you go. We just bought that at Hobby Lobby. Shoe mat. Yeah, we just bought that at Hobby Lobby. So we have a lot of Disney stuff, but a lot of the stuff we accumulate from Walt Disney World. Like we've got plates and bowls and things that we bought when we were at Disney World. We generally don't buy things at Disneyland. And again, just because we're not trying it's not our vacation, so we don't spend money on merchandise when we go to Disneyland. I never buy popcorn buckets. I don't get it. Amy does. Oh, get your Loungefly. I mean, people have probably seen it. If you've watched the Walt Disney World videos, you've seen it. But for those who haven't watched the Walt Disney World videos, Amy's gonna go get another merchandise item that she just bought at Walt Disney World. And she does like Loungeflies. This is her 4th Loungefly, I think.
Yes.
I have a Loungefly as well. So between us, we own 5 Loungeflies. And this is, yeah, Orange Bird Loungefly. So lounge flies are a good item, a
But
really
they're
great merch
practical,
item.
so
They are practical.
like I use that as my purse. So that's why that one. The popcorn. Okay, here's my thing though with popcorn buckets for Disneyland. I don't get the hype. However, for Disney World, just your standard like round popcorn bucket, we actually like had saved one of our old popcorn buckets from our previous Disney World trip, and we took it back with us to Disney World, and we were able to get the refill price even though it was an old popcorn bucket. So like any of the times we bought popcorn in Disney World, now Disneyland does not do this, but Disney World, you can still get the $2.25 refill price for popcorn. So it was great out there for a cheap
Hi,
snack for the
Fatima.
kids.
Good to see you again. She said she missed the live, so I just was
very nice.
pop it in.
So, you know, that for that reason, like out in Disney World at least, like it's worth having at least a popcorn bucket to be able to get the refill price. Especially because we learned in Epcot you can get the maple popcorn over in the Canada Pavilion, and James loved that popcorn. Like he ate most of it.
There was a question up here about Oogie Boogie Bash. I'm going to answer real quick, and then I want to talk about the rope drop question with Walt Disney World. With Oogie Boogie Bash, here's a tough one. It's just another one with this. We don't like spending money if we can help it. You've probably noticed that we try to be frugal. We try not to spend money. If I was coming here on vacation, my answer is always going to be different. If I was coming here on vacation, do the after hours event. I mean, if you have the money for it, do the after hours event. But as locals, it's really hard for us to drop $500 to take the family to a single night to Oogie Boogie Bash, to buy $50 worth of, I don't even know if it's $50 worth of Walmart candy. So it's really, really hard for us to consider spending that. So I spend the money because I know that you guys want to see who the new characters are, what's going on with Oogie Boogie Bash this year, what's different from last year. Also, I know that the YouTube, like the video is going to earn the money I spent back. So the expense will at least be justified. I try not to do something if I know I'm going to spend $500 and it's only going to make $200. It's a $300 loss for something that we wouldn't otherwise necessarily care about. Does that make sense?
So we've even talked about like once the kids get older and we go back to Disney World, I've even contemplated like if there happens to be an after hours event for let's say like Hollywood Studios, we would plan to not even do that part for like during the day. Possibly we would just pay for like an after hours event for that part. But right now, like all of Disney World's after hours events are at night. Our kids cannot handle staying up that late yet. Like James could.
Yeah.
But Benjamin
Oogie Boogie, with that regard, Oogie Boogie starts at 6 p.m. and ends at 11 p.m. And that is actually a really good after hours event for kids, specifically because it doesn't go until 1 or 2 in the morning.
But like most of them are like 9 p.m. to like 2 a.m.
So if you have the money, absolutely Oogie Boogie Bash is excellent for kids. Have I taken the boys? No. And I don't know. I don't know if we will. Just because of our cats are doing something crazy.
They're playing with a block.
Anyhow, the question about Walt Disney World. What are the best rides to rope drop Walt Disney World? This is what we rope drop. I don't know if they're necessarily the best rides, but Remy's at Epcot will always be our number one for if you are coming in from the Skyliner. If you are not coming in from the Skyliner, Test Track or Frozen. Actually, Frozen probably would trump Test Track. Magic Kingdom, it's tough because if you go to what's it called?
Space Mountain?
No, not Space Mountain. Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. If you rope drop Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, it's a Rise the Resistance scenario. You're going to spend 60 minutes. You're going to lose the entire first hour waiting for that ride.
What time did we ride it this last time? Because we rode it.
It was about an hour after the park opened.
After the park opened, and we only waited like 35 minutes
yeah,
for it. I think it's the least we've ever waited for that ride.
So you'll find that out in the next Magic Kingdom video, but we found that Seven Dwarfs Mine Train is a Rise the Resistance situation. Better to ride it an hour after the park opens rather than right away. Hollywood Studios, everybody goes to Rise or Slinky. Slinky is good, but we always grab a lightning lane for it. So if you don't have lightning lane, Slinky. Usually, I like to go somewhere that's quiet first. Tower of Terror usually has a really long line, especially if only one of the elevator shafts is working. So I like to go to Tower of Terror first, as you probably saw in the Hollywood Studios video. And then Animal Kingdom, it's always, always, always Flight of Passage.
And you deal with the
Yeah,
line.
you deal with the line. You never go out anywhere else but Flight of Passage. First thing.
Meow, get down.
Oh, there's some hissing going on. Not sure you could hear the hissing.
Someone asked about, Rick, don't like drops. If you can do Star Tours, you can do Smugglers. Smugglers, in my opinion, is actually easier than Star Tours. I feel like Star Tours is way more jerky, and I get more dizzy on that ride because of the 3D effect, and Smugglers is totally fine.
So, Oogie Boogie fan asks this, and I think I saw a couple of questions that were similar related to this. And they asked if we would ever do a meetup and how we are with like meeting fans and things like that. Generally speaking, we don't do anything organized. We say we're happy to meet you. We love to meet you, and I try to say it as often as I can in the videos when I meet people and things that I don't mind if you interrupt me. I don't mind. If I am in the middle of saying something, please feel free to, now, like some people are shy and they wait, they might wait until we're done or, follow us until we're done and I click the button off. If that's what you want to do, that's fine. I don't mind being followed either. I'll usually notice and then I'll try to wrap up. But I've also had people who are not shy at all and they'd be like, hi, SoCal Disney Dad, like from across the way. And I'll just turn the camera off right then. I don't mind. Sometimes I leave it in. Like if I see them waving or something, I'll leave it in and we'll cut and then we'll pick back up. Other times I'll edit it out. But I really don't mind if you interrupt me because I can pick back up my train of thought. And I don't want you to feel like we're not approachable. So absolutely feel free.
And
if
we
you see
feel
us,
like a lot of times people won't come up to us if it's like me and the kids are there. Well, like, I'll go off with the kids, and Carol will be like, I got stopped this many times. I'm like, we didn't even get stopped for, like, the last 2 hours. Like, and he's like, it's because I was by myself. So don't feel bad if, like, me and the kids are there either. Like, we really don't mind.
Yeah.
Don't think it's only, like, if he's there. But
here's something that I love live streams because I can be a little bit more real with you guys that you can't really see on a video. And sometimes people will be like silent observers and then they never actually get the full explanation or what have you. But sometimes, we have comments like, oh, your kids are so good. Your kids are so well behaved. Your kids are so great. You do see an edited version of things. I'm not going to put videos on camera that make my kids specifically look bad, but please know they are typical children. They do things that kids need to be yelled at for. And occasionally, like, we will be going through one of those moments where it's like, what did you do that for? Stop, and we're yelling at our kids in the park. And I often wonder if, like, that's the moment that a viewer walks by and sees us and they think, oh, that's SoCal Disney Dad. He's really mean. Or, I actually had someone say that once in a comment. I saw him in the park and he looked really angry. And it's like, well, if I was walking through an area and I was hot and it was crowded, I probably did have like a, sort of like face because I'm hot, I'm sweaty, and I'm trying to get through a really tight, narrow area. But I promise that if you say hi, I'm not going to be mean or yell at you. I do love to meet folks. Honestly, we really do. So please say hello. You want to talk about lamplight? Somebody asked.
Somebody asked me a question earlier. What are your top park outdoor essentials for the kids for the summer? Are you talking about just like any activities for the kids for the summer, or like specifically for the theme parks? For the kids, we try to, for the summer, just make sure we have lots of snacks on hand, things like that. We did just go, this is for at home, but we did just take them to Walmart right after we got back from our trip and let them pick out some like activities things for the summer. So like we just got a like light up cornhole set, new. I think. Well, James just got a new basketball a couple weeks ago.
One of those ball tosses with the like Velcro. They bought. They had one before, but it broke, so we bought them another one for the summer, and yeah, I feel like there's a couple other things that we bought. What was that? What question was that related to?
Just like summer stuff for the kids.
Summer stuff. California seems way more expensive and complicated than Orlando. No. Well, expensive, yes.
Yeah.
Complicated, no. So, Disneyland, if you saw my pricing out of Disneyland vacation video a couple of months ago, I will admit I picked mostly middle of the road to expensive things because there's definitely more frugal ways that you can come to Disneyland. And I also picked people leaving from the East Coast, where it's going to be a lot more expensive flights. And if you live in like Arizona and can drive, or you can get really cheap flights, you know, your experience is going to be drastically different. But it was about $8,000 for a 3-day Disneyland vacation, what I priced out. And you can go watch that video. They're actual prices, actual costs. I didn't make it up. I didn't guesstimate. These are physical costs that you will incur coming to Disneyland with a family of 4 who are teenagers. Now, kids, the smaller kids, they consume less or their tickets are cheaper, but teenagers, $8,000 for 3 days.
Ticket deals. Like right now, Getaway today has a good ticket deal, which would, because one of my friends is going later this summer, and she said that she had allotted, I think, like $1,500 for a 3-day ticket for Disneyland, and she was able to get it for $700 something because of the ticket deals that they come out with for this summer. So it varies.
For Walt Disney World, our family of 4, it cost us for 10 days $10,000. And so it's obviously a little bit more expensive, but that was because we went to Universal. Honestly, if we'd have cut Universal, it'd have been about $8,000. Universal was $2,000 of that. And once you go to Walt Disney World past 5 days, it becomes really cheap to go there. You're just paying for the hotel, which is like what, $200 something a night. The tickets are like $20 a person. So you're talking $100 a day after you get to the like 6-7 day range. Really cheap with that. And then you just have food. So you could get away at Walt Disney World for approximately $400 or $500 a day after you get past that like 5 or 6 day mark. And it becomes way more affordable to do like 10-day vacations for the same cost of a 3-day vacation at Disneyland. But complicated, there is so much more that you need to know about Walt Disney World and Disneyland. There have been an influx of comments on these Walt Disney World videos saying, wow, I've never been to Walt Disney World, but this looks so much more difficult, so much more involved, so much more planning than Disneyland. And it's just because...
It's big. Like,
yeah, it's because of how big it is.
We had almost 2 days in each park, and we still didn't do everything we wanted to. I mean, we did a majority of what we wanted to, and that's with us even knowing what to do. It's that much bigger.
Lily says, which parade at Disneyland do you like the most? Paint the Night, bring it back. That's it. Oh, Electrical Parade. You can bring that back too. They're more likely to bring that back than they are Paint the Night.
Magic Happens is a very good parade.
Oh, Magic Happens is phenomenal, but they asked for my favorite. Paint the Night.
Yeah.
Paint the Night.
No, we didn't have really any issues with mosquitoes when we were there. There were quite a few love bugs flying around, but that's always the case in Florida. I think it depends, though, where you are in Disney. Well, okay, I will preface to say Benjamin got bit a couple times by mosquitoes because I took him to first aid one of the days to go get some, like, bug cream, but none of us got anything bad.
Rick, 10K did include the flight, yes, which was $2,000 of that.
Didn't we use points for that, though?
We did. I didn't pay 10K.
Oh.
We have ways. It was just the rough cost.
Oh.
We used points to pay for most of the flight, like $1,200 of the $2,000 flight. So that helped.
Yeah.
But yes.
We also saved a lot this trip with having a Disney Visa debit card, even like whether you have the credit card or the debit card.
You're spoiling the money saving tips video.
I won't say anything else because we're gonna put out a money savings video.
You're spoiling it. But there was a question. I Like Turtle said, "Are we full on Disney now, or do we still do other parks?" Here's the thing, and I was explaining this a little bit earlier. I feel like anytime I do anything outside of Disney, the video performs poorly. And what happens is if I do enough videos that perform poorly, and what do I mean by perform poorly? The people don't watch them. If I do enough videos where people don't watch them, I notice that all of our views start going down. And while I know there are people out there who do want to see that content, the vast majority of our viewers do not. And I have to make a business decision because this is our livelihood right now. I used to be able to, if we have a poor performing video, I could take the hit, whatever. Whenever I had my blog that was making most of my money, but the blog is pretty much dead, and YouTube is the only way that, not the only way, Amy works at a school, but it's like Amy's income goes towards paying off our car and that sort of thing. It's not enough to help with living expenses. So I have to make business decisions, and business decisions mean I need to create content that people will watch. We've found that anything Disney adjacent, Disneyland, Walt Disney World, Aulani, hopefully Disneyland Paris, and those sorts of things you guys will watch. And anything I've noticed, like Anaheim, if we can film something Anaheim related, but that's also, again, Disney adjacent. Legoland, while not Anaheim, Legoland tends to do very well. So I do go to Legoland from time to time. The last time we went was 2 months ago. We are due. Well, Amy was there on Monday, but she wasn't filming. We are due for another Legoland video, and I'm gonna make it a point to put one out in June. But it is hard for us to do things besides Disney.
We also, our zoo pass is expired.
Oh,
so
yes.
We just haven't renewed that. We'll probably go back at some point.
We'll go back to the
zoo. We haven't got back yet. And then SeaWorld, we're giving it some time off right now anyway. So, that's why we haven't been to SeaWorld.
I don't want to get into the SeaWorld thing because I don't want to be negative. I'm not a negative person. I know we talked about me giving honest reviews, and I'll give honest reviews. But I don't like to overly bash something just to bash something. I've been turned off of SeaWorld for a couple of things. If you want to know why, go watch my last couple of SeaWorld videos. Just Google SoCal Disney Dad SeaWorld or something. And you'll see my opinions in those videos. But I really have been turned off of SeaWorld lately.
Oh, Chima's opening on the 15th.
Chima's opening on the 15th? All right, that might be.
We're supposed to go to
Disneyland. We are going to Disneyland that day. I'll try to get up and go to Chima at some point thereafter. Thanks for
Will it be open on the weekdays, Austin? Like if we went up on that Monday, like on the 17th? Because if it's only the weekend, then we'll try to maybe go up on that Sunday. But
So, Epic Universe, Jennifer. I mean, as soon as I don't know if I'm going to make a video about my thoughts. Maybe I will. I mean, we'll see. That's another pass I need to renew, is Universal. We haven't renewed our Universal. Well, Amy never had a Universal pass.
I never had
but
I just went once.
I had a Universal pass. I went up once every 3 months was my routine for Universal Hollywood. So Epic Universe, I could probably put out a video, but I don't like to do home videos, the live stream being an exception. I know Fresh Baked and Provost both do at-home videos where they have their studio and things. I don't like to do those. So if I'm going to talk about Epic Universe, I'm going to want to go to Universal Hollywood so that I'm at least at Universal and I can talk about things physically at a Universal park. So I don't know when I'm going to get back up to Universal, if I even do a thoughts video, but I absolutely will be going when it opens. As soon as we have an opening date, I will attempt to purchase tickets for opening day. I'm also going to attempt to have Universal invite me out for media previews. Maybe.
How?
Maybe. Just ask. Just ask. It doesn't hurt to ask. That would be lovely if I could, but I do want to go to Epic. I'm excited for Epic Universe. I am. How does Universal compare to Disney? We are at 9 o'clock. I need to wrap this up. You guys are still asking questions, though, and I did say that I was going to keep going, still asking questions.
Yeah, they might be asking questions for another 2 hours.
I know. So, Disney World to Universal. You're going to find out Friday and Monday when the Universal videos drop. Universal in Orlando is impressive, and Epic Universe will be good. Sorry, MBFF. Thanks for hanging out, and have a good night. And thanks for spending some time. Yeah, guys, if you guys have to duck out, that's fine. Totally understand. We will. We're gonna be wrapping it up soon here anyway. But
you were talking about Universal.
Yes, Universal in Orlando is impressive. Universal in Hollywood
is very small.
Not so much.
It's still good.
It is still good. It's worth going, but it is only a one-day affair. That is it. You do not need 2 days. You will get everything done in a day without Express Pass, unless you end up there on the absolute busiest day. But I've been in March, 3 weeks after Super Nintendo World opened, which you would think would be nuts, and it was. Super Nintendo World was nuts, not the rest of the park. Super Nintendo World was. I've been there in July. I've been there, so July, summertime. You think that'd be busy. September, I've been in there in September, which that was for Halloween Horror Nights. I've been there in the park, though, not just for Halloween Horror Nights, but during Halloween Horror Nights times. And then I've been there, I think just March again, probably the following, or February. None of the months in which I have gone have I ever needed Express. I bought it once because I wanted to use it and I wanted to see how it goes. It was the very first time I ever went. Absolutely unnecessary. Absolutely unnecessary.
Whereas Florida.
Now, Florida.
Nah.
Ooh, I didn't talk about it into the video that landed today. I'm hoping I talk about it in Islands of Adventure Day. But we stayed deluxe at Universal in Orlando because the deluxe hotels there give you free Express Pass. Unlimited Express Pass. And Hollywood doesn't even have unlimited. They don't even have unlimited. It's just a one-time use thing. At Florida, the unlimited Express Pass is like $200 a person. So for 4 of us, that would be $800. The hotel was like $400 a night. So for $400, we got something, or more than that. It might have been like $500. But for $500, we got $800 worth of merchandise for free, plus the hotel. So they give you free Express Pass, unlimited for all guests staying up to 4 guests per hotel room at a deluxe resort at Universal. And so we did that, and the unlimited Express Pass was amazing. We used it on Velocicoaster to ride that twice. We rode Jurassic Park River Adventure twice. We rode a couple of rides twice, and it was really useful there.
And it saved a lot of time.
It did. It did save a lot of time there. It's not necessary here, though. It's not. Yes, I do remember Rob. I like turtles. Is that you? Are you Rob? Have you changed your channel name? I do remember Rob, though. What's my opinion on Incredicoaster?
Fun.
Very fun. Benjamin loves it.
We all love it. Does
it annoy you when people say hi? You mustn't have been on like 5 minutes ago.
No.
No, it doesn't bother me at all. I love when people say hi. Don't mind if you interrupt. Really don't mind.
Dockside, I think, is where your mom stayed, isn't it?
Yes. My mom stayed at Endless Summer.
And for 2 people, like, it was worth them only staying.
Yeah, because they only had 2.
Yeah. But for us, for a family of 4, it was worth us staying more in the more expensive resort to get the Express Pass.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, his mom and his aunt had to actually buy their Express Pass, and then they only got the basic one. So when they went back for a break, like, we kept riding some other rides because we could ride them again.
All right. I'm going to wrap it up. The questions keep coming in, but all that is telling me is that we need to do this again. That's what it's telling me. So maybe we should do the live streams more often. We need to come up with a better time, though. Wednesdays is not going to work long term because we usually have a church event on Wednesdays. Not during the summer, just usually during the year. And then, we'll have to come up with a better day to do it. But absolutely should do it again. I can't promise it's going to be like next week, maybe next month, maybe in July. We'll do another one in July. Also, if you want us to do another one, send mail. Send mail. Because we'll do unboxings and openings and things like that. Also, remember the P.O. Box is in the description of every single video, and we'll collect them. Even if they're just letters, we'll collect them.
Letters, anything.
Everything's great.
Say, if you missed the beginning of the video.
Oh, yes. Well, we opened a box of Aussie goodies. Somebody brought in some Aussie goodies. And so... thank you so much again to Carissa for the Aussie goodies and to Amanda for the lovely letter. And this was just one of the cards very nice card. And we haven't read all of what's in here just yet, but very, very sweet note. And so we appreciate these. And you want to send us a letter, you want to send us a package, P.O. Box is in the description of every video. And yes, that's... Myrna just asked if we have a P.O. Box. The address is in the description of every single video, at least for the last 2 months. And it will be in the description of every video moving forward. I should probably post it on the About Us section on the YouTube channel as well. I'll edit that I'll do that right after this video. But if you want to send us anything, absolutely anything at all, we will be happy to open it here on a live stream. So yeah, that'll be a way to get us to do lives. You want to do some more lives? Send us mail.
Do not send us a glitter bomb like somebody suggested in the comments when we announced this.
Somebody asked that. It was Sean. I think it was Sean. Sean was like, "What if it's a glitter bomb?" And I said, "Then I guess our couch is gonna get covered in glitter, but please don't." Yeah. Anyway.
Oh, yep. Now our cats are asking.
Yes. Okay. The cats are desperate. 40 minutes past their dinner time. They've had worse. We've gotten back from Disney later than this. They'll survive. But anyway.
Brownie thinks she won't.
Have a good night, all. Thank you for hanging out with us. If you have been here for the full 3 hours, I applaud you. You are troopers. Thank you so much. If you are watching the replay and you have made it this far, again, I applaud you. And I thank you. Thank you all thank you all so much. And once again, if you still have questions I didn't answer, drop them in the comment of any video. I will do my best to answer them. I don't always answer, straight comments when someone's just like, oh, thank you for the video. I might heart it or something. But if you ask a question, I will do my very best to answer questions. Thanks again. Have a good night. And I got to figure out how to turn this live stream off because I don't remember. Is it the cancel button? Oh no, the X in the top. Okay, there we go. Okay, have a good night.